welcome back to another edition. This is our second to last show of the year, by the way, if you folks haven't tuned into that part. But welcome back to another edition of the Boys in the Big Apple podcast. Appreciate y'all who tune in. Make sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when live stream pops or video drops. A little bit of a different scenery for Luca tonight, but I'll let him speak on that. A lot of good stuff coming. We got some new controversy regarding the New York Jets. They can't lose quietly, so they ought to lose loudly, right? We have the Yankees to talk about, the Juan Soto rumors. We got the Mets to talk about. We got the MLB offseason to talk about. And I feel like we haven't really gotten into depth about baseball in a long time. And of course, we're getting some basketball too. But I want to get your guys' first thoughts in. Then we're going to welcome on a guest. What's up to Daniel Berry? What's up to Vinny? Vinny had a very good video on the Jets yesterday, by the way.
Please go watch.
Welcome, gentlemen. Has Sal been fired yet? He has not.
No, Sally's still here, unfortunately.
So, John, you want to get your first thoughts in?
I'm glad, that the winter meetings are taking place. I'm glad that there's finally some sort of rumors so I can start paying attention. And kind of, I can probably pay attention to like three at once, but it's just the Jets, man. I mean, me and Lou, I didn't watch yesterday's game on purpose. These two gentlemen know it. I was actually a funny story. Like they were texting me, them and Armin were both texting me, and they were like, "Oh, like you're definitely watching." And I sent the picture of what I was watching. I had Star Wars on. Okay, that's how much I care about the Jets football at this point because they are absolute atrocious. And then somehow they've suckered me back into talking to them today because of all the nonsense. And they just can't lose quietly, so we'll get into that. But shout out to Jacob. And what am I wearing? I got a Santa hat on. It's Christmas season, man. Enjoy the holly jolly season. But we also got the Knicks in season tournament tomorrow. Me and Luke are going to call that Knicks versus the Bucks. And a certain someone also will be talking about that. But Luca, down here.
Gotta love the eternal clown show the New York Jets are, but more on that later. I'll get it. We'll actually discuss it. I know, we haven't really talked Jets in a while, in some time, like understandingly so, because they're a clown show and it's repeating the same shit all over again. Obviously, this new controversy, it's a little more about to talk about. But MLB offseason rumors, we'll discuss those. Yankees and Mets, Yamamoto, Soto, what's to give with those. If we get there, Knicks, Bucks in season tournament, I know we personally don't care about it, but just for the sake of content, previewing what could happen and what can't happen, and obviously the different scenarios that play out with this Fugazi tournament.
All right, so. I did say on Twitter I'd had some small news to present here, and that is that it's kind of like the usual update every week at this point. These two gentlemen here and here will be calling next week's Monday Night Football game between the Giants and the Packers. I will not be in attendance on here because I will be in attendance over there. No, I did not pay for the ticket. I will be in the press box for my third Giants game, fourth game of the season, my third Giants game. So I'll be going with a buddy of mine, and we'll be doing our thing. So just wanted to give you that little update and all that sort of good stuff. And of course, if you guys got questions for Dable at the time, I always welcome them because I always try to get them through. We do have a warm up exercise, but I do want to be able to give the floor to our gracious guest, and our gracious guest is here with us.
How's it going, everybody? I know I look a little different today.
We can't even make out what you're saying.
No, I heard him.
Did you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Why do you look like a pirate?
In 2 days for a reason. When Luca asked me to come on, I was a little hesitant just because I made a mistake, and I have to now air out the mistake first time anybody's seeing it. I had a shaving mishap, and there's a possibility it's going to not look good. So I'm going to slowly unmask. This first time showing anybody. I'm very self-conscious about it, so please be nice.
Okay.
We'll judge the shave job.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let me actually do this. Let's see this one.
Oh, okay. He's
So bad. I got the old thing.
we don't know who this goon is. He's a whole new man, Jacob.
You guys ready?
Yeah, sure.
I accidentally nearly fully shaved the beard.
You still got some
so-
action there.
It's not terrible.
That's not terrible.
I hate it because it shows the fact that I have no chin.
I think it's a good trim job.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know. I feel very. For those who don't know, I've had a beard for like 4 years, and I have not even entertained the idea of shaving it. It was literally an accident because I bought a new buzzer and I put the wrong guard on. So
that part that's a bad take, Brian. Thing
It's
to
a
do.
difficult mistake. But hey, listen, I'm here. I'm happy to talk Bucks. Knicks, happy to talk about what's going on around the NFL. What else? And also whatever else is going on college-wise. Georgia didn't make it, but rightfully so. A lot of controversy around those picks. Just so much. Also, Juan Soto and the Yankees. We'll definitely discuss that and why I think it won't happen. As well as the Jets to be a controversy and why maybe Thomas Morstead should get a fair shake at quarterback.
What's up to Lou in the chat? He goes, fellas, what's up? Pause on the trim job.
Pause on the trim job.
It's a man from the Bronx.
I'm glad someone thought that was funny.
I'm glad somebody did too.
What's up to Brad in the chat? Obviously, what's up to Jacob? Just a quick question before we go into our immaculate grid. Hopefully, nobody screws it up this time because it's always either Luca or it's Brian.
Yes.
I love getting the credit that I do good on these usually.
Yes. Do you have a? And I actually, what? No, not tonight. Okay, I thought it was involving the Bucks. It's not because I'm already looking at the immaculate grid. Luca, do you hear a little bit of static out of Brian's mic, or is that my earbuds?
A little pop.
I hear it too.
It's a little pop in my mic.
Yeah.
Is that loud, really?
Well,
It's
I
just
can.
static.
Not too bad. It's just a little static.
Okay, give me a sec. I'll reset it.
Okay.
I was joking when I said I couldn't hear you when you had the whole ensemble on, but now it's just staticky.
And if you guys haven't already, please go out and subscribe to Mr. G Nation Inside Sports in the chat. They do a lot of fun content. Big Blue Crew, Giants content, some other football content, and also boxing.
How about now? Is it better?
Podcast.
Yeah,
Yes.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah, I
There
had
you
it on the wrong microphone. It was on my laptop mic, not my actual mic.
Figures as much.
So
It
not only does
resets
he
it every time. I get mad about it.
not only does he put on the wrong guard, he puts on the wrong mic. Okay, now we know where we're at.
And no, Jacob, this doesn't count as strikes.
No,
No, that's
No,
a
it
strike.
doesn't.
That's a strike.
No, not
he didn't
to me.
phase out.
All right, the over underline for Brian phasing out. I'll be nice since I'm in a holly jolly mood. 3.5.
Oh,
I was gonna say
also-
one. I was gonna say you could do 1.5 today, but okay.
3.5. 3.5.
3.5.
Can I also set an over under? How many times does my camera unplug?
Oh
All right,
yeah,
over-
that happened the last
Over
time.
under for that, we'll say
4.
3?
we'll say 2.5.
Okay.
Okay.
2, yeah.
All right,
2.5.
so here we
So
are.
Throw in your over unders in the chat if you'd like. Remember, the line on Brian's 3.5. The line on Luca is 2.5.
Yes. All right, so here's our immaculate grid tonight. By the way, once again, folks, just a reminder, this is the second and last podcast of the year. We have a lot of interesting content. December 18th, which is the final show, and yeah, so something that wasn't my idea, but again, we'll reveal it on the show 2 weeks from now. Anyway, so we have the immaculate grid here. I want to say Buffalo and Washington. I think a good guess, someone who got a chance with the Giants but didn't do much of anything. I want to make sure. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and say Jamil Douglas.
Interesting.
0.008.
Just gonna
What are you
present.
doing? What are you doing? The hell is this? All right. What was I going to say? No, trust me. We've literally, and I'm not even bullshitting you, Jacob.
Yes.
Me, Luca, and John were talking about. We have a whole doc set up of like the end of the year vid.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of funny clips of pretty much not just 3, the 4 of us
Yeah, a lot's going to be factored in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if I'm gonna have more this year. I wonder.
Oh, easily.
Just with that great Bucks rant, yeah.
With
Yeah.
the Baker Mayfield rant? Yeah. Yes, I understand the
The,
record too in that
hey,
span.
hey, Brian, how
Lost
about
5 of the last 7? Yeah, I know.
the Wizards take you had on me?
Yeah, Brian.
Oh, come on, Brian. You
Brian.
said that the Wizards were going to be better than the Hawks this year. You said the Hawks were going to be the
You
worst.
were raving
Oh,
about the
that's
Wizards.
right, that's
you
right,
were
yeah.
raving about them.
I've only got one comment response to that.
Just
Jordan
one?
Poole. Jordan Poole.
But you knew Jordan Poole's play style back in Golden State, and he stunk. He's a high volume, low efficiency shooter. Same thing in Washington. So not a
What
surprise.
about all right?
Yeah.
I got one for the grid. Washington and the Chargers. You think people are going to guess kickers? Because the guy I'm thinking,
You're talking about Dustin
Hopkins?
Talk about Dustin Hopkins.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he might be high volume just because he was with Washington for a number of
All right.
years.
I remember it because of fantasy purposes.
My next guess would be, I literally just had it in my head. It's not Vlad Dukas. It's Tanner Vallejo for the Bills and the Cardinals.
Or John Brown, the receiver.
True. Any other guesses other than Tanner Vallejo and John Brown?
I think you got those. I'm not
We
going
can
to
do-
argue.
I was just thinking for more Commanders, Chargers. Deacon Jones played one season with Washington, so
Deacon Jones. Okay.
I don't.
All right. So I think we'll go Tanner Vallejo. No, not Dolphins. No. I also got one for the Dolphins. That's in division, but I'll talk about it in just a second. So we got Tanner Vallejo, 0.4%. I think one to go for Bills Dolphins, Jordan Mills.
Interesting.
See, I'm coming up with everybody today. No, actually, it doesn't work for them. So,
Oopsie poopsie.
I'm out of luck there.
Wasn't there a defensive lineman who played both for the Bills and the Dolphins? Shaq Lawson, I think.
Shaq Lawson could work.
Shaq
That's
Lawson.
true.
Yeah.
A trash can of a player.
Hey, listen, you got a sack on Zach.
True.
Anybody can. The
Yeah.
guy's a
Well, that's not really hard.
All right, I'm trying to think other than Shaq Lawson. Just trying to think. Let me see.
Is Chargers Cardinals Michael Floyd too obvious?
I don't think that's that obvious.
Yeah.
Shout out to Scott in the chat. What's up, man?
Scott?
I'm trying to
what's
think.
up, Scott?
Arizona Hall of Fame. We could do.
Emmett Smith?
We could do Night Lane Train.
Okay,
Oh.
Night Lane Train.
Night Lane Train. If you wanted.
You could also do Faneca.
That's true.
You could.
Alan Faneca.
Faneca's new.
That's true.
And not many people think of offensive linemen either.
That's true. I would.
I think I'm gonna still go with Night Lane Train.
You sure?
Okay.
Okay.
Night Train, late
0.9%.
night.
Okay.
0.9?
That's
No
actually
way.
really good.
That's
It works
good.
better.
Those Madden games really helped.
All right.
Dolphins Hall of Fame, I'll just give you it now. I don't think many people are going to get it. Just go with Larry Little for Hall of Fame Dolphins.
I
Okay.
agree. I concur.
Larry Little. Okay.
Stick with the offensive line thing I'm thinking of today.
Larry Little, Dolphins Hall of Fame. 1%. Okay.
Dolphins, Chargers. Wes Welker played on both.
True.
Yeah, he did.
Wes Welker.
Trying to think. Chargers and Cardinals maybe too, and then
I'm
also
picking
the
Chargers,
division.
Washington right now.
I want to say maybe Sam Young played for both. I don't know if he played for Buffalo. Definitely played for Miami.
I believe also another receiver for them, David Boston, early 2000s.
All right, so I'll add this in. Sam Young did play. 0.06%. Okay. What else? What did you say, John?
David Boston was another receiver.
For which category?
Dolphins, Chargers. He played like half a season in Miami.
Okay, should we go with it?
I think we should.
All right.
I just want to double check this at the moment. Okay. Washington Hall of Fame. I don't know if it's too obvious. Bruce Smith.
3% for David Boston. Bruce Smith. Trying to think of other guys. Washington Hall of Fame.
No, Gibbs was in the player. My bad.
All right, I'll think of something else. We got Cardinals, Chargers.
Chad Bailey. Champ Bailey's
Could be one.
Mhm.
Let me think.
For the Cardinals, Chargers, do we think that Cromartie would be an obvious one? Too obvious?
No, I don't think I don't think too many people know that he played with the Cardinals.
Antonio Cromartie?
I got one for Washington. I'll give you guys a historic name, a really historic one.
Okay.
How many of you think that Sammy Ball would be on there?
No, well, it would be rare.
That'd be very rare.
So that's Hall of Fame or Chargers?
That's Hall of Fame for Washington.
Okay.
BAU. That one.
5%. Wow.
I can't believe more people knew that. I'm a little shocked. He's their best quarterback in the franchise's history, but it goes back to like the 40s. I'm shocked they knew that.
Well, all right. Washington and Chargers. Trying to think. What were some of the guesses that we had?
I got
Cromartie.
that's Cardinals, Chargers. I had.
Wasn't
No.
there? I'm trying to remember the teams that Pierre Garçon played for.
I don't
I
know.
don't think he played with the Chargers though.
What about
I don't think he did either.
did
But
Dontrell Inman ever play for the Cardinals?
Actually, you might be onto something with that, but
What about
I might
Stallworth?
Dante Stallworth.
Did he play with the Chargers?
I thought he did.
1 second. Let's see. Oh no. You said Stallworth?
Yeah, Dante Stallworth.
He was Washington. Wait, hold on. Yep, Washington was not a Charger.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
All right. Cards. All right. Thinking. In chat, if you got any suggestions, throw it in.
If anybody's got suggestions, please.
Yeah, because we got two more left. And then we got the great Jets to talk about.
We're doing everything we can to get a perfect grade here, so we just need anything at this point. I mean, you mean one? I mean, I think one of you guys said Cromartie, right?
Yeah, I did.
No, you're talking Antonio or Dominic Rogers?
Antonio.
Antonio.
He's not talking about the Giants one.
Well, he played the Cardinals too, so that's why I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's see something real quick.
Dwight Freeney also works. He played for both.
Dwight Freeney. Okay. Should we go with that?
Did he?
I don't know. For the Chargers and Cardinals, yes.
Oh, I knew Cardinals. I didn't know about Chargers. I forgot
He was a Charger.
We're doing the Immaculate Grid, Scott, and then we're going to talk about the Jets a little bit, and then we're going to talk about some of the baseball offseason stuff. But questions are welcome in if you got any questions or topics you want us to talk about.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. Don't worry. We won't bore you with the Garbo Jets too much. We'll definitely get into our baseball stuff tonight. We don't want to take your time and talk about garbage that much.
Damn. Let me see if Tony Bergstrom played.
That's the name?
No, he did not. Okay. Damn. Chargers, Cardinals.
Did DJ Fluker play for the Cardinals?
No, I don't think so.
No Mike Upati for the Chargers?
No. Yeah, no. Should we just go with Dwight Freeney for the Chargers and Cardinals?
Oh, wait. One of the players, I think he's on the Cardinals now. Kazir White. He was a Charger.
Okay, yeah.
He was a Charger.
I think there's another one too. I remember another linebacker. What about Vigil? Nick Vigil.
Vigil.
Vigil. If that's the that's the answer. Yep.
I think he was with the Jets in preseason. For that.
He was.
I think Vigil was another name.
Yep, Nick Vigil. Yeah, he's right. That's an even more rare guess. 0.9%. Okay, one more.
I remembered him with the Chargers, and I knew he had a really.
Nick Vigil could have been Washington too.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And now we got an issue here with Washington.
Actually, no, that's his brother Sam Vigil. Never mind. Actually, no. Hold on, let me think. I'm trying to. There is another Vigil brother, but it's not.
all right. Trying to think of kickers too.
Well, I think we know that Hopkins would work. I'm pretty sure we're all aware
Yeah,
that Hopkins.
Hopkins. I said Deacon Jones already.
Zach Vigil was the name I was thinking of, but it wouldn't work.
Wait, I remember the receiver. Oh my gosh, I remember from fantasy when I was in high school when I was playing it. He was like a third option on their team when Rivers was still there. Inman, Dontrell Inman.
That's right.
John said it.
He had
John
one year
said
in the
it.
COVID year with Washington. I remember.
He's right. Okay, so Dontrell
Inman.
30 score of 14.
Wow,
That's
pretty
insane.
impressive. Good job.
All right,
2%, but it works.
Team. All right. So the way I'm going to open this up for the Jets, I've suggested Feeble and Diva learn how to spell. Yeah, that was my F up on Twitter.
I have a
My new
suggestion.
Star Wars review. How about you swap the Jets for the Niners? Well, they're not. Listen, even though we had a little spat on in the Twitter chat about it, I haven't seen Sunil yet, so you don't have any competition for now. But all I will say is this, right? We have the caption. You know what? We're not even going to insert the caption because the caption's on the video. Let it play.
No, I don't really feel like it.
First thing I thought of, but I will.
Apparently, he's going to play.
Yeah, doesn't want to play, guys. Doesn't want to play. Luke, you want to take this one away?
First of all, for the record, we were on here.
You're making a declaration.
I have to apologize to the man above me, Professor Angry John. I have to apologize because we clowned him. Well, I don't know if Alex and Arminds are going to apologize, but I will.
You should.
I won't apologize.
You should apologize.
So last week we were talking about the Jets. I don't know in what manner. It was the call-in show, and we were, daring John. We're like, hey, you're gonna watch the game. You're a fan. Everybody, every time everybody says that they're not gonna watch, they end up watching because they're fans and this and that. John actually stuck to his promise by not watching the game. He ended up watching Star Wars, and you know what? I'll be honest. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I might have actually joined him because Sunday was a piece of shit. Literally. Definitively and literally, that is some of the. I'll be honest. There was no fun watching the game whatsoever. I was at my uncle's house. We were celebrating not really celebrating, but we were remembering my late uncle who passed a year ago yesterday. We were at my other uncle's house. We were just chilling and having coffee and whatever, just chilling out. And you know what? I just spent half the time just talking to my uncle about family stuff because the game was so worthless. Like, my time, everybody said it. Every Jet fan said it. It was a waste of 3 hours, even if you watched the game that long. How could you possibly go at? I'm not going to go after season ticket holders or whoever for went out to the game. If you went out to the game, I personally apologize to you. If you sat through the game while watching your TV, I apologize to you because I was one of them who actually sat and watched the game. I didn't sit through the entirety of the game, but you know what? It was utter disaster. The one thing Joe Douglas has accomplished in his tenure as New York Jets general manager is forming the worst fucking quarterback room in NFL history. I'm telling you right now, it could not get worse than Zach Wilson.
Jake Fromm and Michael Lennon are worse.
No. It could not get worse than Zach Wilson, former number 2 overall draft pick, a bust. Tim Boyle, a guy who literally at UConn, his 2 years at UConn, threw one touchdown to 13 interceptions. It took him another college tenure. I don't remember what college he went to afterwards to try to make those stats look better, but they don't. They don't. So you have him. Give me 1 second.
Should I give my piece?
If you want to intervene, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I personally made sure. Oh, you know what? I'll let him go back because I thought he was going to be gone longer. But
no, I just had to pause for a quick second. But anyways, who else but Trevor Siemian? Now I'm going to get clowned for this. No, I'm actually not going to get clowned for this. But I'm sure there's people out there say, "Oh, revisionist history, all this, and that." I don't have to go into the backup quarterback debate anymore because me and John went through it 70,000 fucking times
I'm
already.
not doing it again.
The Jets needed to sign a backup quarterback behind Aaron Rodgers to further prevent Zach Wilson from playing. We've said that how many times over the fucking podcast. I'm not going to explain why I need to affirm that stance. That is that. I am not going to talk about that. But I will tell you this right now. The only reason the Jets signed Trevor Siemian, that being, not a Carson Wentz or whoever, to the practice squad, was A, to sign a backup to show the fans, hey, we heard you guys. We know Zach Wilson sucks. We're just going to sign a backup. We're going to sign Trevor Siemian. But the key is he was never a threat. He was never good enough to be a threat to Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, you're right. You're absolutely right, Luca.
And it's true. It's true because the New York Jets, I've never seen an organization coddle a player like this clown organization, this clown quarterback. We'll get into what he reportedly did in a few seconds because John is coddling the baby. Zach Wilson's a baby, a spoiled little fucking brat he is. But anyways, moving forward, obviously you have that. Trevor Siemian was garbage. Tim Boyle was garbage. Tim Boyle we all knew was garbage, but we wanted to see different action. This offense stinks. Not even from a quarterback perspective, but the offensive line stinks. Great job, Joe Douglas, by the way, who is the offensive line guru, who continues to put masterpiece after masterpiece on the offensive line. Well, we stink, by the way. And don't forget about that play caller, Nathaniel Hackett, who's just a guy, by the way, just an Aaron Rodgers guy, who I was trying to be sold on in the offseason that he had success. He made Blake Bortles an average quarterback. Woohoo! He worked with the red zone team. He worked with the red zone. He worked with the Green Bay offense in the red zone. That's why they were so successful. No, they were so successful because Matt LaFleur is an offensive guru running the Green Bay Packers right now. You see Jordan Love succeeding. That is why. But you move into that. You have the clown show of yesterday. First of all, the Jets are way out of the playoffs. Who gives a shit about that? Just tank already. So, John, what did you say about this team and how they lose? You can't lose.
I said they do not. So every NFL team, all the bad teams know how to properly lose and just shut up. Just don't make it worse than it already can be. The New York Jets are worse than all of those teams, not by their record, but because they continue to be a walking embarrassment, and that's all they'll ever be because they are hot garbage. And also, anytime they lose, right, they have to make it worse somehow. They have to make it worse and worse and worse. And so today, the worst came out. So for anyone that didn't hear the news today, or since me and Luca haven't really broke it, but in case you didn't hear, I'm sure if you live in New York, you definitely heard it, or you check Twitter, right? Essentially what happened was nonsense, but Robert Saleh and the New York Jets organization had to cover their ass today because it got out that Zach Wilson was pretty much, they were his guy to choose to go back and start. Not that it mattered anyway, because we all knew they all give you an equal chance to lose. I don't want to hear that none of them gives a better chance than the other. They are all equally garbage.
That's why I said they're the worst quarterback.
Right. And Luke is correct on that. They're all equally bad. So the decision was that they were probably going to go with Zach Wilson. It got leaked out by, who was it today? It was Diana Rossini.
Zach Rosenblatt and Diana Rossini.
Right, those two. Yep, those two beat writers got leaked out saying that Zach didn't want to go back in because of prevention of future injury. I don't remember the exact term or quote used, but that's pretty much essentially what happened. And so it looked like an embarrassment top to bottom today after they tried to cover it up, because then our genius coach decided to lie again. And we all know he's a liar. It's not the first time he's lied. But, when you see a clown lie once, you know what it looks like the second and the third time, as Alex puts these beautiful pictures. And yes, I am hereby saying it. Roberta Saleh is worse than Adam Gase and is worse than Todd Bowles. I didn't even watch the game yesterday. He is worse than both of them combined. Brian, I see you shaking your head. I'll tell you a million times, he is worse than both of them.
So you're saying he's the worst Jets head coach of the century?
By far. by far. And you know why I know that? And you know why I know Joe Douglas is a worse GM than Mike McCagnon.
And John Idzik. John
And
Idzik
John
had an
Idzik.
8-8 record in his first season, by the way.
Right.
Douglas doesn't even came close.
Right. He's worse. You know why? Because they've been given more time. They've been able to get more talent. And their record is worse. That's an indictment on them. They are awful. But nevertheless, going back to today, Robert Saleh was sitting up there and pretty much saying, oh, no, Zach didn't, he didn't say that. He's our guy, this and that. And it was, I've
Can I quote him real quick?
I don't mean to interject. No, Alex, I have to interject with you too.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Saleh said this in quotes. I'm going to give you specific quotes now.
You can give me the specific quotes.
He said, here's the two quotes that stuck out to me. If Zach didn't want to play, he wouldn't be here. But then a couple of minutes later, Robert Saleh says, if he said that, he wouldn't have said that to me. You just contradicted yourself.
Well, no, and the funny part is, Luca, he didn't say it to him. He what probably happened, he probably told a teammate that, because I doubt, the quarterback on a team is going to go to the coach and say, hey, I'm not suiting up for you again. Now, if it did, I got to give Zach some credit and say he's got some balls for that, but we know he doesn't.
But can we know he doesn't. For a second? I apologize. I apologize for interjecting. But can we look at this objectively? Who the fuck is Zach to go out?
No, you're right. You're right. I'm not defending him.
Zach to go out there and say, you know what? I don't want to risk injury. Your fucking defense for the past 2 fucking seasons has risked injury. God, let's call it as it is. Let's call it as it is. The defense has barely gotten injured the last 2 seasons. God forbid somebody like a Sauce or a DJ Reed tears their fucking ACL.
Or Quinnen,
playing their ass off on defense. The defense has been phenomenal. I'm not going to say they're this 85 Bears shit, but they've played well enough for an offense that is at least average to win you the game. How fucking dare, if this is true, how fucking dare you go to the media or whatever and say, oh, I don't want to risk injury. You selfish little fucking prick. You have been coddled by this goddamn bullshit organization since day one when you were given the starting job right from training camp. No threat whatsoever. Mike White and Josh Johnson are not threats whatsoever. They had to trade for a backup quarterback in Joe Flacco that season. They didn't play Mike White, for the first couple of weeks. They played Joe Flacco. And you know what? I'm not a fan of Benningo as much as other people, but you know what? Mike White was better. But that would have hurt Zach's feelings again. And then you go back to the middle of the season. Zach gets benched. Mike White. You know what also happened with Mike White? His teammates rallied around him, despite them not winning games.
Remember, they had the Mike White T-shirts.
Mike White T-shirts when Zach Wilson literally started against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
That shows you who the clubhouse was behind. So you had that. So he was benched after the game, never to play again that season.
Can I say this?
No, hold on. I got to finish. I'm sorry. But again, John, why didn't the Jets not play him in Week 18 last year? What was the quote from Robert Saleh?
I forget. Hold up. It had to do with the beach. He should be reading a book on the beach or some shit like that.
Exactly, because the Jets didn't want to mess with his fragile ego. And I'll tell you this right now. The reason the Jets did not want to re-sign Mike White could be for 2 reasons. And number 2 is, in my opinion, maybe the $8 million. Who gives a shit? $4 million is like fucking pennies. But all right. We have that. You can use that if you want, but if you think and if you read between the tea leaves, the way that the clubhouse or the locker room rallied around Mike White would have offended Zach Wilson if he brought him back. Say, you know what, you're going to be the backup to Rodgers, and Zach Wilson's going to be. Don't you think that would have pissed off Zach Wilson in a way? Remember what Zach Wilson said that he was going to. What was the quote?
He said,
veteran quarterback.
He said he's gonna make their lives
make his life hell.
Yeah, you totally.
No, he's made our lives hell, but he hasn't really done that to anyone.
Oh yeah. So you obviously have that. The Jets, for some reason, don't go out and get a backup quarterback, whether it's Bridgewater, Minshew. You can list all the fucking names in the world. $5 million at most would have paid, but the Jets decided to pinch pennies and try to please Zach Wilson because he's done so much for the organization that he deserves this great wealth. What has Zach done for the organization that they have to please him like this? Anyways, let's move on. So week 3, Zach Wilson played like shit against the Patriots. I was there as a fan. I didn't pay for my ticket. I feel bad for the people who went there. I feel bad for my friend Jake, who ended up paying for my ticket and says, you know what, you're going to come for free. I'm like, wow, thank you. But anyways, Jake is as much of a Zach hater as anyone else. But you know what? He's right about most things. Anyways, after that dreadful performance, they go out and sign Trevor Siemian just to say, hey, fans, we signed the quarterback. We're just going to sign him to the practice squad and have be no threat to Zach. So they benched him in week, what was it? They benched him after the Buffalo Bills game, Miami game, and all that. And then
already we knew the season was over by then.
Yeah, the season was over.
The season was over. They had zero. I don't want to care that. Mathematically they're stealing it. No, they had 0%
after the Chargers game. The season was over.
No, after no. You're wrong here because we sat here in the first game of the week after the 4th play of the year. The season was over, and I told everyone here that it was over.
Yeah,
and I was right.
Well, you won the game against the Giants.
Well,
that was the worst thing that possibly. Let me just finish with the timeline. It was the worst possible thing they have. So we go into this mess where the Jets decide to go roll with Tim Boyle for the stinking Friday night game. That was an absolute disaster. They rolled with him yesterday. My apologies. But you have that. And then Zach Wilson has the balls. Again, if this report is true, which I think it is, and I'm going to tell you the truth. As John was saying before, I personally think that this article or this news headline was leaked out by a teammate, a coach, or a member of the front office, and the Jets have spent all day trying to put out that fire. Because, God forbid, we hurt Zach Wilson's feelings or make his image hurt. And at the end of the day, if you want to be completely honest, if you were benching Zach Wilson after that Bills game, you should have just fucking cut him because he's not going to be here next year. Take the cap hit, take your losses, and move on. Admit that he was a failure.
Yeah, and it's also it's an indictment on the organization that for somehow, even after all this nonsense, he's still on the team, which makes no sense. And it's an indictment on the owner week after week after week that either 1, he has not fired everyone in the organization, or 2, he has not sold the team because he is the worst owner in football. You know what? No. So I'll scratch that. He is the worst owner in sports, period. There is not a single worse owner.
What about David Tepper?
Nope.
What do you mean no?
He's not worse than Woody Johnson. He's not worse than the Johnsons.
Tepper, to be fair, hasn't had that long of a tenure, so you obviously got to when he has the sample size, we got to compare.
If Tepper is somehow worse than 13, I'll even say more than 13. It'll give him 20 years, right? Woody is by far the worst owner, by far.
But obviously, and again, we go back to the backup quarterback position. We're not going to do that all over again because we said it how many times, but it's amazing how if this is true, I will say this. If he actually had the balls to say that to somebody, I'm surprised that the team. I would not be surprised if the entire defense lined up in front of the facility like a whole fucking blockade and said, "You cannot come in here. You're no longer a part of the team."
No, you know what? Screw that. I wouldn't. If I'm a defensive player, I quit. What I do, I go up. I suit up for the game, right? I show zero effort. Zero. Don't tackle, don't run hard, don't try and, make any pass rush moves, let receivers open. Don't even try. And I hope that's what happens. I am rooting for the Jets to get embarrassed. Absolutely. I don't care who they play. I don't care if you're supposed to be better than them. Don't try.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
What legitimate difference is the injury risk from Zach Wilson taking over in week 1 to now?
None.
What's the difference?
None. It was bullshit. We know that. Come on. You think we're dumb enough to fall for that? Really?
And there's 2 things I want to point out. I was about to apologize to John, but I went on my little tangent. From now till the end of the season, and I know Armand is in the chat. He's going to call bullshit on me, but you know what? I'm going to stand true to my morals, just like John was last week. I'm only watching Red Zone for the rest of the season. Forget putting on the Jets game. That means nothing to me right now. I'm only putting on Red Zone for the rest of the season with my fantasy teams and just watching regular football. I'm not going to watch. If the game comes up on Red Zone, I'll just watch it for a bit. But in terms of watching the entire
Man,
game,
no, you should change your channel if it comes
it's
up.
worthless. You can change the channel, whatever.
We're gonna have weekly movie
I'm
night.
just watching
movie
Red
day on
Zone. I'm
Sundays.
just watching Red Zone for the rest of the season. And to all the people who have come out here and said, "Oh, I'm glad you all." First of all, there's some idiots out there. I'm not going to name names, but there's some idiots out there who have come out here and said, "I'm glad you guys said it was Zach's fault. Otherwise, championing that Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian didn't work out because they want to defend their little baby boy Zach as if he was their child, their cousin, their son, their father, anything." They defended him like, he was, again, I don't have to go on and on. But anyways, also another thing the Jets loved to do in the past couple of weeks was talk to the media about how they rejected backup quarterbacks because Zach Wilson was their guy. But anyways, they went out there and said, you guys said Zach Wilson was the problem. I'm glad he was the problem, sarcastically. And then you have people like Lejay Duzable out there saying, oh, Zach would have beat the Falcons. Company boy, you're full of shit. At the end of the day, nobody is good on the quarterback. Nobody is good in the quarterback room. Can we get that forward?
Tommy DeVito would have beat the Falcons.
On top of shit. It's different kinds of shit. It's not good whatsoever. It's not good. Shit quarterback versus shit quarterback versus shit quarterback.
Who's playing that?
Definitely Brian, because he's laughing.
Shit quarterback next to shit. What do you get? It doesn't matter what type of shit it is. It's shit. It's cat shit versus dog shit versus bird shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is all shitty quarterbacks, and that can be blamed on the fucking general manager, Joe Douglas. He should be fired. Robert Saleh should be fired, but they're not going to be fired because at the end of the day, we have a sap as an owner in Woody Johnson who is accepting of losing. And at the end of the day, there was no playoff mandate, regardless of Rodgers. And at the end of the day, we are a loser organization. And Woody Johnson, please fucking sell the team. And I want fans to boycott.
You should come back with your special hat, but because Brian hasn't seen it yet, of course. But
dude, I had to play the music. I'm sorry. I know we're on YouTube, and you probably are gonna get some type of tiny copyright.
It was like,
but that was so worth it. It was so worth it. The rant going on, it makes you think of like I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. Play the music in the middle of an angry rant. Just I don't want a lot for Christmas. Had to do it.
Says,
I will add something to this Jets debate. Actually,
okay.
I'm not going to name names, but I actually did speak to a well-known Jets reporter.
Okay.
With a well-known media organization, and I spoke to him about the situation dating back to even Black Friday game last week. Okay. And when I tell you the stories I was hearing from him, I was sold. Could not believe the things I heard about how he was describing the entire way the Jets have been going. It has been, it's very sad the way he's put it. Talking about, I've been talking with these Jets, covering these Jets for so long, and it feels like the same thing every time, and now it's like he couldn't justify it. He couldn't justify the way they're behaving. And I tried to tell him, me and him saw the same eye to eye on the same thing. You could argue this all you want. Well, he disagreed with me at first, but I explained it better and he understood. I initially told him that they thought Zach Wilson was the problem, that he was the sole problem. And I said that he was not the sole problem. I did not believe that he was. I felt there was more to the Jets themselves. But I told him Zach Wilson was never the main problem. And the reporter went to me and said, no, he is a problem. He is a serious problem.
He is.
I said, yes. I said, but you put out Tim freaking Boyle, who, again, how in the world is he backing up in the NFL? Still a question to be asked to this day. And he goes, you know what? He's like, you're right. I said, it's the point of ineptitude. It's bad decisions that created this. This has been the story of the Jets for the last 20 years. Bad decisions cause big problems. And he couldn't help but agree. He says, I can't disagree with you. He said, he told me everything. He told me it was the longest day of his life covering that Black Friday game. He just wanted to go home. When an accredited, big-name Jets reporter is telling me I wanted to go home, I'm tired of going to Jets games, that says something.
Because it's the same shit every week, every month, every year, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not watching them. I told y'all last week. I ain't watching this nonsense anymore. And Crackle Nuts, I know you're clowning around because there is no bright future for this Jets organization. Hence, I am having movie day on Sundays. I'm going to watch basketball. I'm going to watch hockey. I'm going to pay attention heavily to the baseball offseason because I am not discussing anything football related for the Jets until the offseason. And I will not be talking about anything football pretty much until basically playoffs are on. Then we'll get back into our football brains and stuff. But I am not giving a damn about them.
And also break into this. What, to any fan, I will never tell a fan how to spend their money, as in a Jet fan. How do you spend, looking at the Jets organization now with basically uncertainty looming in the future after Aaron Rodgers, even with Aaron Rodgers? Because I'll tell you this, Brian, the Jets are not winning a Super Bowl or anything substantial with this coaching staff and Aaron Rodgers. That's the truth. That John will believe that. I'll believe that. Some people, I guess, maybe just want to put on the green goggles, whatever. How can you honestly buy tickets or buy season tickets for next year? Or at least spend money. Or spend money. That's the principle. Spend money. I know we always talk about the Yankees and hit Hal in the pocket and all this different stuff. Maybe do the same with Woody Johnson. See if anything changes because that's all he cares about at the end of the day. And he cares about the wrong optics at the end of the day. He cares about the wrong optics. It's not about, whether, it's not like you can't be totally fan dependent as an owner. You obviously have to manage, but take a temperature, take a pulse of the fan base and see, you know what? They're pretty pissed off. They haven't been to the playoffs in 13 years. They haven't been treated to a home playoff game in over 20 years.
You want to describe what Vinny said in his video with the experience at MetLife is?
Well, make sure to go watch it.
Yeah,
Make sure you go watch it.
Vinny, if he's still in the chat, please watch Vinny's video. He said, "Why would I go to a stadium with lukewarm hot dogs, rat-infested stadium, and be drinking piss-warm beer?" You've seen that MetLife. It's a dump.
Yeah, it's a dump.
It is there's no home atmosphere. And again, Woody does not care. So you know what? Hit him in the wall. And what pissed me off even more was this past week with having Aaron Rodgers as a prop, handling the phone lines for the season ticket holders. Can we be realistic? That's typical Woody Johnson being tone deaf. And there's obviously owners and bad owners and all that. Not many owners make themselves look like clowns on Twitter like Woody Johnson. Just got to say that for the record. And folks, if you don't know,
I have to blow a whistle. Sorry. Don't you know it's the NFL? You can't criticize an owner for doing something wrong. You just can't. They can't do anything wrong, can they? They can't do anything wrong, right? No owner.
Penalty flag.
Nobody can do anything wrong.
He does. We got some competing refs. We're gonna have a maybe tomorrow.
A ref off.
A ref
Excuse
off.
me? I got
A ref
flag.
off. Yeah, he's got one too.
Oh, he does.
We gotta judge the ref off. Who's the better ref?
You know I have a full uniform too, right? I have a full ref uniform.
Oh,
can't wait for that.
Ooh.
Oh my God! Of course, Brian
yes,
would.
It is a Bucks hat. They do play tomorrow. They play the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. Are we? I don't mean to be a. Are we done talking about the Garbo? Because
I want to get my thoughts on it.
I told you guys.
I didn't know if
my
anyone
2
was
cents.
done.
The Jets are done. It's been done. If Aaron Rodgers is smart, he doesn't come back. It's great you want to be around the team. Get yourself back to the physical space to be okay with football going into the offseason. That should be the focus. If you're going to come back, great. Let's see how you look. That's it. Let's just see you be healthy. That's all Jets fans care about right now in terms of your team. Tell me if I'm wrong. You want Rodgers to be healthy, and you want to invest in a top 10 pick again.
Now, let me ask this, Brian. I was talking with John. I think he views it differently. My top three positions, I know we're getting to draft. It's not really draft talk, but it is. Would you, if you were a fan, would you be in favor of the Jets drafting a quarterback next year, like a Penix, to sit behind Rodgers for a year and then start?
No.
Second round, yes. Second round, yes.
No.
Not first round.
Nope. Neither first nor. We don't even have our second round pick.
So you just want to repeat what you did this year?
No, I'd like to get some offensive linemen and some receivers in this damn room.
They're running it back.
That's great. That's great.
We need.
But you're also talking about a front office that won't do that.
I
Listen,
didn't say they
but
would
listen,
do it. I
Douglas
didn't
is
say they
great.
would do
Douglas
it.
is great with the defensive side. He's done a great job getting that defense up to what Saleh needed. The problem is he can't draft offense. Offense
You know
is
what?
failing. Outside of Garrett Wilson, and Breece Hall, this has not worked.
No. Listen, I am not saying I am a fan of Joe Douglas. In fact, I'd like him fired, as I said in the past and today. I am not saying that, what they will do. I'm saying what they should do, because remember last year's draft, me and Luca pretty much wanted something on the offensive side. I clamored for this team to go get a bookend tackle because I knew that a 39-year-old Dwayne Brown, who's pretty much a crippled offensive tackle, and the Wawa Job of the Hut Becton, who's 360 pounds of softness because he can't take an insult on Twitter, okay, could not get the job done.
He was laughing at our boy Vinny for he's too busy on the Twitter. He doesn't get enough flack because of the comeback he's making.
Yeah,
but you know what? He can go next year.
You know what? You can come back to another team, all right? Because I don't want you.
He come back to Wawa.
All he is a space. The perfect fit for him is he's a space waster and an air breather. That's it. That's all he is. He is nothing else. Nothing else. Bust. That's what he is.
Hey, it's the great 2020 draft class. It's the great draft sometime, not this show. We're gonna have to evaluate every Joe Douglas important move.
Can we do that at some point?
I didn't say today. I did not say today. I said at some point we're gonna go through.
No. I like to see how many more drafts he actually gets. I hope it's none, but I feel like he's got at least one more. Once he gets
one
fired,
more draft.
No, I'm not rooting for it, but I'm assuming it's going to be at least one, and hopefully that's it, and hopefully they fail and just suck at peace for once. But hopefully we can analyze every pick just to show and put out to the people how actually garbage he is. And you know what? He probably is never going to listen to this, but I hope his feeling, because now I'm going to make it personal. I hope all their feelings are hurt at this point. I do. No, I seriously do. And I know you guys are laughing and saying, I personally hope their feelings are hurt. I hope they cry. I hope they don't get employed with another NFL job, because they are the contributing reasons to why I can't enjoy a football Sunday. It's true. Am I wrong?
Listen, I agree. I get it.
John, they're destroying your life, aren't they?
I get it.
Listen, I can't enjoy football Sunday because I watch all the other 31 NFL teams, and it doesn't matter whether they're star teams, whether they're injured teams, whether they're bad teams, whether they're mediocre.
Tommy DeVito.
Good, right? Alex is Tommy Cutlet boy, right? And you look at them, all of them miles ahead of this dump of an organization. Miles ahead. The 1-10 Panthers, miles ahead of the New York Jets.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they are.
I would not put the Panthers above the Jets. I am
sure they are. Why not?
As a person who watched the game. No.
Why not?
I watched them play the Bucs yesterday. I am telling you.
Brian,
no.
Has nothing to do with yesterday. Brian, can they move the football? That's better than the Jets. You know why? Because the Panthers might be, you know what? The Jets are down.
They have no head coach.
Okay?
They fired half their coaching staff already. They got a guy who's sitting there with his thumb in his mouth, doesn't know what to call. I mean, you're comparing two different situations.
No. I'm comparing a bad situation to the worst situation in football.
You're comparing a wild, inconceivable season for the Jets with so much expectations out the window because one guy got hurt.
Seasons. 13 straight years, no playoffs, Brian. 13.
I'm talking about this season.
I'm talking about the Jets in overall embarrassment totality. They are embarrassing, Brian.
As a franchise,
the same thing every year. 13 years. 13.
If you want to talk about in the last 13 years, I can name one other organization that is more embarrassing than you.
Oh.
The only other team that has won 0 games in the season.
The Browns?
The Browns?
No.
The Browns organization in the last 13 years has been worse.
They're not worse than the Jets.
They've been worse.
No, they
How many draft picks did they miss on? How
What's
many?
missing draft picks, Brian?
They've
Brian.
missed on so many draft picks.
That's the
They had
wrong
struggled to
tree
win
to
games.
mark up.
It's only been in the last
Brian,
4
that is
years,
the
5 years that
wrong
they've actually
tree.
started winning a
I've
little
sat
bit.
through.
And it took one coach.
Whether
One
it's the past,
coach.
I've sat through D. Milliner. I've sat through this year with Will McDonald being inactive. I've sat with Wawa Becton. I'm
Sheldon
naming
Richards?
you names
No,
off
not
the top of my head. I've sat through quarterbacks of Bryce Petty, Christian Hackenberg, you name it. Who do we draft? James Morgan. I mean, I've sat through useless pick after use. We had a 3rd-round pick that didn't even make the roster his rookie year. He was so bad. I mean, Brian, let's not even bark up the tree here with the Jets in drafting. There's no one that's
Devin
been
Smith.
worse.
But you know what the thing is? I'll give the Browns this. I know they went 0-16 in 2017. They actually hit rock bottom and tanked properly. The Jets didn't do that. And I said it on Jose's channel. I'm going to say it right now. We are currently facing the consequences of that. We should have properly tanked for Trevor Lawrence, but we did not because we win 2 fucking meaningless games against the Browns and the Rams. Alex is laughing because he's never faced this pain. It's true. John, tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right.
We are facing the consequences of fucking winning 2 meaningless
anything.
games.
And you know what's funny? You know what? I take it back. One thing I said, they're going to win one more game this year.
The Patriots game.
You know what game that's going to be? Against the Pats. And they're going to celebrate like it's a great win. Oh, we finally broken the drought against the Pats. Woo! No, it's going to help the Pats get their quarterback, and then it's going to bite us in the ass for 15 years.
And is that
Did I already
before or
tell you
after
the
they're going to
score?
have another kickoff return for a touchdown to win the game?
What happened?
Is that before or after the Patriots are going to have a kickoff return touchdown to win the game?
I hope the Pats win the game.
Well,
No, it's not going to happen like that. Bailey Zapp's going to throw a pick 6 right to Jordan
Bailey
Whitehead.
Zapp's dropping 300 yards on the Jets defense.
I mean, that's what I hope.
I'm seriously kidding, but I mean,
I know
this
that's
rate,
what
anything could really happen.
No,
And
that's
Barber
no.
just made a really good point in the chat. Belichick is actually tanking properly. He's properly tanking at the moment. You can say whatever you want. They're tanking really well.
Mm-hmm.
Right now,
Well,
New England owns the 2nd overall pick.
I mean, the minor update, Almighty, was that I'll be at the Giants game in credentials next week, and these two will be doing the game. But the fuck was I gonna say? There was a point I was going off of. Damn, I lost it.
The Browns
Somewhere.
ended up making the playoffs in the last 13 years, Brian. I'm not saying the Browns organization was great and all, but the fact that the Browns, were usually the laughing stock and the factory of sadness, they've actually made the playoffs once in the last 13 years. The Jets haven't. The Jets have went through Ryan Fitzpatrick, Mark Sanchez, his demise, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Bryce Petty, drafting Christian Hackenberg in the 2nd round. I mean, failing to tank for Trevor Lawrence, all this stuff. They still continue to be the worst organization in football over the last 13 years.
Not even close. There's not a second close team. There's the Jets and then everybody else.
I'm going through in my head, see if I can name one worse. I'm trying.
You can't.
Chargers.
Nope.
No!
No, Chargers have made
They've
more
had a Hall
postseason
of Fame
appearances. Doesn't
quarterback.
matter.
Nope.
More playoff appearances. And they actually have a bright future.
If they,
Even as long as they get rid of their coach, that is. As long as they get rid of their coach. Evan Ingram touchdown. That's good for me for fantasy. Real good.
Not good for
Alex
me.
Alex is gonna troll, and then Alex is gonna troll us because I see that little Cheshire cat.
Alex can troll all he wants. His team still doesn't have a better draft pick than the Jets.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
No. Don't you start with your little BS. Okay,
That's not true.
Whatever you're about to
Brian,
do is
that's
fake
not
news.
true. On
I don't care.
NFL research,
I don't care.
On NFL research, the Giants are fucking 6th. The Jets are 7th.
No, the Jets are 6th. You're 7th.
The NFL research sucks, Brian. Come on.
The Tankathon website, which specializes in this, is 6th for the Jets, 7th for the Giants.
By the way,
specialize in this.
The Jets beat the Giants, Brian. Come on.
It doesn't matter.
By the way, I've been given a request by our loyal friend Jake Simone. Question: This was going to relate to all of us, but this is actually a Jets question. John, Brian can speak on this because he actually had this guy as a coach recently. John, how would you feel if the Jets went after not Harbaugh, but Bruce Arians as the next head coach?
He's not coming back. Sorry. Nope.
If that were scenario, if it was realistic.
You better say
yes.
I'd
do it.
You better say yes.
Yeah. I just said, I do it.
Why? I just don't know why you people are going on. I'm not saying Tankathon's always
Thank
wrong.
you, Armand. Thank you.
NFL
He's
research.
vouching.
the research program of the NFL.
Doesn't matter. They don't know.
I'm sorry, guys. They don't know their own team.
Bro, they're not standing on business. They don't get it.
He just ejected himself. He just ejected himself.
Good, it's Lucas' show now.
You guys have the clown costumes out in sight.
Barbara,
Just like-
I want to respond to this real quick. The Jets should absolutely not hire a. No, why would you show that comment, you idiot?
Ben Johnson. She's talking about Ben Johnson.
Now he's removed. Anyways, Ben Johnson. The Jets should absolutely not go after a first-time head coordinator. They've done that
Okay,
too
yeah.
many times.
Oh, stop,
that.
Luca.
Harbaugh, Arians, or McVay if he's available.
You literally were clamoring for him earlier in the season with John.
Because I was making a suggestion if the Jets end up not hiring the first three, the Jets need a first-time. They don't need a first-time coach.
Yes, they need a first-time
No,
head.
they don't have.
He's gone again.
This is we're never talking about baseball. We're just gonna continue to kick
They
him.
don't need. They shouldn't have a first-time coordinator or first-time coach. It doesn't make sense.
No, don't go with Kellen Moore. No.
I want Harbaugh.
He's going to the Panthers.
Harbaugh, Arians, or McVay.
No, I don't think so.
The Panthers
Panthers are going to just do something dumb. They might just. I really couldn't tell you what they'll do.
And
No,
Woody
the Panthers
Johnson,
have interest.
Woody
legitimately.
Johnson.
I'm
Woody
sure they have
Johnson-
interest, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Woody Johnson, I have a message for you for your next coach that I know you're not going to fire this year or hire. Pay up. Pay up. $10 to $15 million a year for Jim Harbaugh.
Steep. That's steep.
I don't care, steep or not.
You need a culture changer, Brian. He's the guy, in my opinion.
Just bring in Urban Meyer and all your problems will be solved.
Yeah, no, thank you.
He'll love that New York City nightlife.
Oh, by the way, Jake said, Brian, you're wrong.
Who said I'm wrong?
As a recent this is actually about a year ago, a little less than. Bruce Arians said, "It kills me not to be coaching the Buccaneers."
That's the Buccaneers. Do you know what the problem is, though, why he's not coaching anymore? I'm going to make this very clear. He didn't retire because he didn't want to be part of coaching anymore.
Health
He
issues?
retired because he medically can't do it. The man has a heart problem. I don't know if people know that. The dude has a heart issue. He came back to try again with Tampa. He spent 3 years in Tampa, did a great job with what he could do, won a Super Bowl, had back-to-back playoff appearances. If they would have beat the Rams on that, stopping Cooper Kupp on that final drive, they probably would have been back-to-back champions. And he would have rode off into the sunset with 2 Super Bowls. But you know what? He went out on top. He went out being one of the best coaches in Tampa's history. Probably a Hall of Famer at this point as a Hall of Fame coach. The impact he's had in the game is ridiculous. And I think he just enjoyed being retired. Don't stress yourself out with the unnecessary problems that the New York Jets bring to everyone around them. You're better off just staying retired, staying stress-free, and enjoying the Florida sun. Don't get frozen up being in New York just because you want to prove to yourself that you can fix any team. We get it. We know what you've done. We saw what you did with Arizona. Although they never won a Super Bowl, Arizona looked like a great team. Always, every year when he was coaching. When it was him and Tampa, Tampa was an amazing team. He left, it went out the window. He became an advisor. They told him you can't be on the sidelines. You got to go to the box. And now we're at this point where it would be nice to see him coach again, sure. But it just, medically, he can't do it. And I think for his safety and his mental health, don't do it. Don't go to the Jets because I'm afraid he might die on that sideline from the stress he's going to have.
You're not wrong. I might die.
Does Rodgers want to work with Harbaugh or McVay? I doubt it. Most likely
Who
Hackett
cares?
gets
If
promoted.
Hackett gets promoted, John and Luca will watch
no,
football next
Brian,
year.
you don't know the bet Luca made.
Oh my God.
Luca and John will not watch Jets football next year.
I won't.
Come on, Luca, fess up.
Okay, I might have. I
No,
wasn't.
no.
I swear I wasn't under the influence. I actually said this.
You sure about that?
Yes,
I can't wait for this.
I wasn't
can't wait.
drinking.
I can't wait. Spill.
I said that if the Jets hire Nathaniel Hackett because of Rodgers after Saleh, that I would pull out my teeth with pliers live.
Luca, with all due respect, better get those pliers ready.
But I was
You're gonna have a really expensive dental work you're gonna have to do after what you do to your teeth.
I turn that shit off. I was on with John. John was just about to mention before he mentioned the Hackett thing. I don't give a fuck who Rodgers wants.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. You know what? I'm too much for my stress right now. I'm getting some water because I don't.
What
I'm
a
done.
fragile human being. You're like Zach Wilson.
No, I'm done with Jets football.
He's done with Jets football, everybody.
That's his.
I like this. I like this one. Thank you, Almighty.
No, you guys really want the worst for me, don't you?
Jets hiring Joe Judge. Yeah. Jets hiring Joe Judge. But Luca totally flipped the script, by the way, on that entire.
John has become soft, according to
Says the one who doesn't want Harbaugh.
John got soft. Armand, do you know what you've done? Don't piss him off.
What do you mean? He's already pissed off enough.
Yeah, we were literally arguing, not only on Jose's channel, but on our call-in show about Harbaugh. The argument Armin makes. This is the last part of the Jets thing. Then we'll move on. He's like, Jim Harbaugh has been out of the NFL landscape for 10 years, and there's a reason why, because he didn't really win much in San Francisco. He didn't win a Super Bowl in San Francisco. That's his point.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Okay.
Don't.
Okay.
Can we just talk?
I like
about
this one. Just
I said in truth that you're not going to get a Super Bowl winning head coach unless it's Sean McVay. And if you're not getting McVay, you need to go after Harbaugh. Because
What's Jacob saying about the Yankee stuff?
And he's asking if there's any credible rumors, which I think we could shift the.
I'm sure there are some.
I also do want to do picks at some point.
I will also give you some.
You want to do that now before we go to baseball?
I have kept very quiet about some baseball stuff, but when you guys are ready, we'll go to that topic.
You want to do picks quickly before we do baseball? That way we don't have to transition.
All right. Small subject. Don't worry, John. It doesn't have to do with the Jets.
Thank God.
In your honest opinion, and I know how some people get into this, who should be the starting quarterback for the Giants post-bye? Tyrod Taylor or Tommy DeVito? Luca.
Tyrod.
For a lower pick, I would say Tommy DeVito. Higher pick, I'm sorry.
But either way.
Tommy DeVito. Tyrod Taylor's not going to be here next year.
John?
Tommy DeVito. You can maybe groom him into a backup quarterback. At least Tommy. That's the way I go.
I'm saying Tyrod.
Okay.
And I'm saying that because he still struggles to win football games, and you're better off with that than a guy who's starting to get a little bit hot here with DeVito.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'm for the tank, so I'll say DeVito, but, DeVito is going to be here next year. Tyrod is not. All right. So
ready for
we're
picks?
at the pick segment. Yep.
All right. First game up, Thursday Night Football. Patriots Steelers.
What a barn burner. No Kenny Pickett.
Bailey Zappi versus Mitchell Trubisky. All the one you wanted to see.
Awful.
I did make a formal announcement this week that we were sidelining Thursday Night Football, and it couldn't have been a better time.
Mm-hmm.
Nice job.
And it wasn't even for the matchup reason, but that's another thing.
I'm going with the Stellars. Stellars got to see Upper Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Pittsburgh too. New England isn't trying to win games.
That I wouldn't sleep on the fact that the Patriots defense is so good. Did you guys see the stat that they've done the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, they managed to lose like 3 games in a row.
And their defense has allowed less than 20 points combined in those 3 weeks.
Yep. So, Brian, are you going Pats?
Here's my issue. It's tough only because the Steelers' defense is good. Patriots' defense has been better, but whose offense can you argue is worse?
Pats
New England.
I feel like, listen, I know it's just how bad is Steelers' offense without Pickett, which is a funny sentence to say, but
like they're bad,
But they're not New England bad.
Right, but the New England, to be fair, Brian, the New England Patriots offense is worse than the Jets offense.
Yes, that is true.
I'm going Steelers too.
If I'm going with the tank, then yeah, Steelers. Let's go with the Yinzers.
All right, so the Yinzers.
Steelers got the Super Bowl.
All right, 1:00 slate. You know what? We'll choose Brian's game first. Bucks Falcons. Who we got?
Okay, go for it, you guys. I'll let you guys go first.
Okay. Give me the Bucks for a breakout game.
Bucks. Alex?
Desmond Ritter sucks.
For some reason, I don't trust Desmond Ritter. Give me the.
So you're going Bucks too.
Yep.
Brian, I got some good news for you. I think the Bucks are overall still a better team than the Falcons, despite record-wise. I will go with the Bucks.
That's nice. Going Falcons.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Season sweep. Season sweep.
I don't think that's going to happen. But regardless, we move on. Here's a
division, but okay.
Divisional game. Lions-Bears.
I want to say Bears for the tank, but I think the Lions are going to win.
Lions are going to win.
I would love the Bears to win, another few games, but
Detroit. It's about Detroit.
Detroit.
You know what? The Lions have been – I thought they were much better than they were. There are some division games where they have not been good. This might be my craziest pick of the year. I will go with the Chicago Bears as an upset.
I don't think it's crazy.
I don't think
in Soldier Field, I don't think it's that crazy.
I am going with an upset. Remember, they got smoked on Thanksgiving at home against the Packers. They narrowly beat the Saints yesterday. He almost came back on them. I think the Lions are going to choke a game away. All right, Colts-Bengals.
Colts,
Bengals. Dang. I mean, look, right now the Colts are – I'll tell you one thing.
Cincinnati.
Go
ahead.
Sorry, it's you. I forgot. I know you were doing your pick. Go for it.
No. I was saying Cincinnati's putting up a fight against Jacksonville, which I find.
They're in the red zone on Jacksonville, about to tie it up before we go to the end of the half.
Yeah.
So if they're keeping pace with them because Browning is doing a good job at quarterback, who's to say he can't beat the Colts?
I think the Colts defense is tougher. I'm going with Minshew mania.
I think you're right, though. I think you're right. It'll be close. Within 3. I think it'll be within 3. Give me the Colts, though.
Okay.
For the shoe.
Alex?
I'm taking the.
Bad. I apologize.
Taking Indianapolis.
Because I'm looking at ESPN for the games of the week. So excuse me for that. Go ahead. Who's your pick, Alex?
Indy.
You're going with Indy?
Yep.
I'm going to be different. I will go with the Bengals. If they're putting up this much of a fight against Jacksonville, I think I'll go with the Bengals. I'll go with Upset City this week. Why not? I don't care anymore. All right. Next game up, Jaguars-Browns.
Jags.
All about.
If the Browns were all healthy, I'd go with them, but I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one.
Yeah, because Joe Flacco's going to drop 400 on the Jacksonville.
Yeah, sure.
Another guy the Jets said sign.
All right, we got another divisional game. Panthers-Saints.
Panthers-Saints. That one's a little rough just because I don't think they're going to have Carr this week. He's in concussion protocol on top of an injury, so it'll be Jameis Winston time.
I have a question to ask John.
What's the question?
How far behind am I in the record?
I will announce all records at the end of the show when this game is over.
Okay. All right. Because I want to, give me the Saints. I wanted to go for the Panthers, but
Saints. Okay, Luca.
Saints.
Brian, you said Saints.
I'm praying
as
on the
well.
Panthers to win.
I'll probably stick with Saints.
Saints. I am also going with the Saints. The Panthers are just an awful team. All right, I'm going to go with the first pick of this Garbo game. The Texans are pretty much playing in nobodies, so I will go with the Texans.
What's up to
By the way, John,
and disgruntled?
I just want to say for the record, your jinx worked out.
It did. Thank you. I don't even care about the jinx anymore at this point. Unless I really need it, but whatever. Texans are going to win regardless.
It's up to Sunil and Mr. Disgruntled in the chat.
Root on the tank, baby. Let's go Texans.
Texans. Okay. Yeah, I think it should be easy pick, Texans.
Excellent. Texans. Texans.
Out in the
Texans.
Texos.
Yep. No, there's no reason anyone should even think about picking the Jets because that would just be silly.
Wait, picking this team?
Turn that music off. Okay, next game up. Rams, Ravens.
Ooh, good one. That's actually a good game. But it's in Baltimore, so I think I'm going to have to go Ravens.
I'd have to agree with Brian.
OBJ reunion game.
You going Ravens too?
Yeah.
I will also go Ravens. We have a clean sweep there. Okay, so now we're in the 4 o'clock window, boys.
Ooh.
All right. Vikings, Raiders.
Vikings, Raiders. Ooh, that's
Give me
actually
the
an interesting
Raiders.
game. Yeah. Vikings looked real weak last time they played week ago. They looked really rough. Dobbs' magic is gone. The Raiders are on some kind of run to try to squeak their way to the postseason. I got to say, I'm going Oakland. I mean, not Oakland, Vegas.
This one's funny. Oh, man. This is true, though.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Wilson isn't picking the Jets.
Yeah,
Watch
that's
this,
true.
guys.
Good point, Disgruntled. All right, Luca, who did you have?
Ugh.
Give me Josh Dobbs and the Vikings.
You know what? I really want to pick the Vikings, but they've kind of disappointed me the past 2 weeks when I picked them, and I'm going with the Raiders at home. I like this coach, Antonio Pierce. He seems to have this team a little rejuvenated despite the quarterback deficiency. So, yeah, let's go with them. All right, next game up. We're still in the 4 o'clock window. Seahawks, Niners.
Niners.
Seahawks, Niners. Where's this one? San Fran?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm iffy.
I'm going with the Niners, by the way. I don't think I'm picking against them for
I'm thinking about injuries. That's what I'm worried about. I'm gonna say San Fran, but it's gonna be really close. It's not gonna be like last time. Last time it was like 31-13. This time it's not.
Yeah, it was on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna be like that.
All right, this might be game of the week, talent-wise, or one of the games of the week, maybe the AFC side. Bills, Chiefs.
Kansas City coming off a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Bills trying to fight to even make the wild card too, and it's in Arrowhead.
Yep.
Kansas City.
Chiefs for Alex.
Give me Buffalo.
I don't know.
I have to.
I don't know. Patrick Mahomes hasn't looked too good, in his last couple of games and overall this season for his standards. I got to go with Brian. I'm going Buffalo.
I'm going to agree with Luca and Brian and say the Bills because I thought they looked better against in that Jets game after they fired Ken Dorsey. They made a lot simpler the game plan and they trounced them. I know it was the Jets, but they looked a lot better. And the Chiefs, I watched a good chunk of that game against the Packers last night. Something ain't right on offense there, and it's not Patrick Mahomes' fault. So I'm going with Buffalo in this one. Next game up, last game of the 4 o'clock slate, Broncos, Chargers.
Ugh. Well, give me the Chargers. No. I'm sorry. Give me the Broncos.
Broncos?
No,
I'm also going to ride with
Broncos
the
here.
Broncos.
Got to.
Who are you going with?
Stay here.
I'm going to go Broncos. I think here's why. Actually, you know what? No, I take it back.
No.
Give me Chargers. Give me Chargers.
You're going Chargers?
Only because I'm thinking about it.
Good
Like,
experience.
the Broncos were on a good pace. Are they better than last year? Hell yeah. Are they going to make the playoffs this year? No. That game against Texans was what did it for them. They're not going to make it. I think the free fall starts now. I'd take the Chargers in this one, despite the fact that New England made them look like babies this week.
Chargers.
The Chargers, as Luke is going. I will go with Denver. I think Brandon Staley's an awful coach. All right. Always in these type of games. All right. This is definitely the game of the week of the whole NFL. For pretty much the NFC East, Sunday Night Football, Eagles-Cowboys.
Here's what I'm going to say before I comment. I got to say this.
Mhm.
Sunil, I saw your comment. You saying, give me the refs. You have no room to talk as a Dallas Cowboy fan. However, I do feel the Cowboys will win this game. Give me Dallas.
Eagles are coming in pissed off. I'm sorry. I don't think Dallas is that good.
I'm taking the Steagles.
You know what? I really want to take the Eagles, but I'm going to do my friend Sunil a favor because I don't care about my record as long as I'm over 500, right? I will personally, swear to God, pick the Cowboys because he claims they are such a good team.
I will put Dak Prescott in the MVP conversation if they win this game.
Sunil's already been saying that.
Hold up.
If he wins this game, he's in there.
Hold up, Brian, because this is personal to Sunil, Mr. Sunil.
Okay.
Sunil, I am picking your Cowboys to win this game because you swear on God they are better than this team. If they lose, you better not run. You better not hide. Because
Better watch out, better not cry.
That's right. You will be made fun of, and your cowgirls, okay? So I'm doing it because you swear they are that good.
Can we make a bet? Mm-hmm. So how about this? If the Eagles lose, Sunil has to come on the call-in show with a Santa Eagles hat.
You think he's actually going to buy that?
He should. I'll pick the Cowboys for Sunil. Yeah, that's right, Barbara. He's booked. Yeah, there you go. In the book.
There has to be some sort of bet made.
We're moving on to Monday Night Football. 2 games, actually. Really weird. Titans, Dolphins.
Ew.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
That's an ugly game.
Give me the Dolphins. Such an easy game.
That line is terrible, though. That line is minus 13.5, by the way.
Whatever. I mean, yeah.
Dolphins haven't lost at home this year, and the Titans haven't won on the road this year.
The Titans can win for the tank.
This is a freaky game.
Dolphins, they're going to win.
Give me the Fins.
I don't know if you guys know, but Tonga Vailoa was hurt. I don't know if you guys know that.
What do you mean? He was just playing guitar on the Manning cast.
I'm sure he was, but I don't know if they're talking about it as much. He's dealing with the rib injury. They're not talking about it. You can see it with the way he throws. He's got a rib injury right now.
Mike White can beat the Titans, Brian.
Yeah, he can. The Titans are not good. They're not.
All right, Dolphins. It won't be as much of a blowout as people think.
Next up, last game, we'll be calling it Packers-Giants.
I'm taking the Giants.
Fuck you, Luca.
He's doing that on purpose.
You risk your record. Tank. By the way, the Packers have not lost a game in December under Matt LaFleur. They will not lose a game under Matt LaFleur in December. Yet.
This is a tough one. Tough pick. Tough pick.
Tough?
Problem is that I like to call Jordan Love bipolar because he's either going to be a really good quarterback or one of the worst you'll ever see, no matter what the week is. It's very hard. But he's been on a good streak lately.
Brian, come on, man. Come on. Don't even.
Listen. My head is telling me to pick Packers. My heart's telling me to go Giants. That's the problem.
What?
Yeah, actually. I'm serious. My head and all logic is saying go Green Bay.
Well, I'm glad your head's on straight. Is your heart?
When was the last time the Giants won on primetime? Other than Sunday Night Football last year? Coming in with Tyrod Taylor or Tommy DeVito. Come on.
Brian, the Packers are winning this game.
Those
I like to make jokes and say
are going to be pretty freaking strong. I don't care. I'm going to side with Luca on this. Go Giants.
Luca's only picking them because he's trying to win. He doesn't care.
Good night, everybody.
Alex trolled me all week. About how the Falcons were going to beat the Jets, or Falcons were going to lose to the Jets, excuse me. But hearing his annoying ass yesterday, I unfortunately can't annoy him on the stream because he's not going to be, on the stream. So you know what? As I said, I'll pick the Giants.
Oh, I also clarified the source. The Jets do have a higher pick than the Giants, so I'm still right.
Ooh.
NFL research doesn't get it wrong.
Well, because NFL research doesn't get it wrong. I mean, I'm telling you the truth here.
All right, let's look.
I kept reading for news sources. Come on.
Doesn't mean
Even Sports Illustrated.
That's Jets will. You know what? Fine. Jets will win against the Patriots week 18. They're going to win against the Browns. It'll all be fine. Zach Wilson has his revenge tour. It's okay.
Revenge tour.
Yeah.
What pot are you smoking?
All of
Out
it.
Disgruntled says, "Aren't the Niners healthy?" Yeah, they're very much healthy.
They are, but they still got some beat up guys. Like Arik Armstead's banged up. That's one of their big names.
4.2 miles down the treadmill, 2.1 left, doing 6.3 today. Okay, Sunil. Per Riley Leonard plans to make official visits to Notre Dame on the 6th and 7th.
That'd be such a Notre Dame thing to do.
You know, and I'm going to get to a couple comments, then we'll shift to baseball. You know who would be such a Notre Dame cornerback?
Cornerback?
Quarterback. Kyle McCord.
Oh, we're gonna go into this now.
No, I mean, I was just touching him on it.
I'll touch on this too, since we're talking Notre Dame. I might have just won Christmas this year because I got my uncle one of the best gifts you'll ever think of. And Alex, you're going to take a lot of appreciation in this.
Am I?
He goes to South Bend, Indiana twice a year for Notre Dame. He
Okay.
goes twice a year because he loves them that much. I got him a jersey, an autographed jersey, inscribed with 2-time Super Bowl champs on it, certified by JSA with the certificate of authenticity. Can you guess the player? My
Mark
hint is
Bavaro.
a former Giant. Who is it?
Mark Bavaro.
Yeah. It was between Mark Bavaro and Justin Tuck, and I went with the cheaper one. But Bavaro, with the inscription saying 2-time Super Bowl champ, I just won Christmas. His jersey, Notre Dame, autographed.
Western New York for the dub. This is a fuel matchup between good QBs. Broncos, Chargers, give me the refs. Santa John's coming.
Oh, give me 1 sec. Stay on this comment for 1 sec. Remember, Sunil, if he's listen, if the Cowboys lose this game, who's coming to town? Who's coming to town? Santa John is coming to town.
That's right. That's
Why?
You
right.
better bring me here. You better bring me some gifts. We should eat chicken cutlets next Monday.
Santa John.
You guys can, not me. Luka Jake Browning is doing a pretty good job so far being the Bengals backup.
That's, I guess, when you have a decent offensive coaching staff.
No.
So should we do a baseball immaculate grid?
Yes, baseball. No more
Sure,
normal
sure.
football.
I'm a little
yes.
weaker on this end, but let's go for it.
Yes.
All
All
right.
right, Brian. Don't guess Jesse Chavez now.
No, I'll guess Julio Urias. I'll put in if they had a section for guys that got incarcerated, I'll put him in there too.
Oh, nice.
All right.
No.
All right. Let me think. Let me think here. Okay.
We got wins, we got all-stars, we got Pirates, Twins, Jays, Reds. Okay.
What about Jays Orlando Hudson All-Star?
Okay.
Orlando
Good one.
Hudson. Ooh.
Honestly, wow.
What?
He
You got it wrong.
Look, you got it wrong.
I made one guess and Alex took it. Did he offer to
Don't blame this shit on me now.
You're the one that controls the board.
Exactly.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you.
it's my
Okay, how
fault.
about this? You want me to bring up a fresh board so we can try this
No,
again?
I
Yeah,
have
let's
All the
redo
rules?
it. Let's redo it.
You
I
want me
have
to bring it
I
up,
have
or do you want
I
John to
have
bring it up? Luca,
I
does
can
one of
open
us
up.
want to bring it
I-
up?
I'll do it.
No.
Okay.
I have Safari already open. It's fine. Bunch of clowns sitting here.
No.
playing.
You
You
did a
had
bad
one job.
You did a bad
All right.
job, and you will do
Chat,
a bad.
vote on whose fault it is. Next.
You did a bad job, and you will do a bad job again.
Okay, here we are.
Okay. Let's start with some easy, more obvious ones to make up for this now.
There we go.
With the Twins, can we do Justin Morneau to make it easy and done?
And a little bit more. I would need a little bit more rare, personally.
You want more rare? Okay. Miguel Sano?
Hold on. Wait. I'm trying to.
How about
think.
Brad Radke?
Brad? That could be one.
All-Star 98.
Wait, I just remember. What about Phil Hughes? Did he ever make one? I always forget. Did he make an All-Star
No,
one year?
I don't-
I thought he was close one year.
Now with the Twins.
Hmm.
No, not with the Twins. So I knew he had two teams. I knew he wasn't just with the Yankees.
As I stand on business with my guess of Rad Radke.
For the Twins?
Yeah.
Stands on business. You hear this
Okay.
guy?
All right.
Joe Nathan could work for that too, but that's easy, I think.
For the Twins, right, Luca, for the millionth time?
Yes.
1%.
Woohoo!
All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we're on the board now, ladies and gents.
Now the Toronto gets interesting because typically the first one pops in my head is like guys like Joe Carter.
Right. Let's see.
What could you come up with?
I'm thinking.
Did Russell Martin make one with the Jays?
I want to say he did. 2015 with the Jays.
He did? Okay,
Yeah.
Russell Martin would be an option for the Jays then.
That would be an option. Ricky Romero,
Was he ever an All-Star?
2011. I'm voting for Ricky Romero.
Yeah, we could do that. We can do Ricky.
Okay.
Do that.
All right. Okay. All right.
I'm trying to think of some guys. You know what? For Pirates, Jays, we could do the Yankees former pitcher, J.A. Happ.
I might have an even better guess.
Or
Listen.
go ahead.
Damn. Okay. No. I thought he did. I thought the guy in my head did, but never mind.
I thought of one more former Yankee just for the.
I know who you're gonna say.
Who am I gonna say?
Aroldis Chapman. You're gonna say for the Reds.
What? No, it's not. I said for the Pirates, Jays.
Okay, there's your zone out. Zone out one. There
Zone
it is.
out.
You got
Zone
one.
out one, ladies and
You got
gents.
one.
Zone out one.
You got one.
Yeah, there we go.
I think I can think of Twins and Pirates.
Okay.
I think of Blue Jays Pirates. Travis Snyder.
Okay, that's one.
That works.
Pirates, Twins, Ryan Domit. Ryan Domit. I'm gonna see if there's another one I could guess. If not, we're going Ryan Domit.
You know what? Blue Jays Pirates. We got the legendary pinch hitter. Who am I thinking of?
Pirates who?
Pirates Jays.
Legendary. You
Matt
talking about?
Stairs.
Oh,
Matt Stairs, guys. Stairs. It's like an instant cheat code.
I'm gonna
Okay.
give you guys one for the Reds. I remembered from a few years back. I got a rare one for you. Let's go with Zach Cozart.
All-star.
Okay.
Brian's right on that.
I think that was like 2016, 17.
Yeah, he had like one great year with them.
One really good year. I think it was at shortstop too.
Mm-hmm. It's funny.
All right. So Reds, Pirates.
Armand saying we could do David Wells for Cincinnati and 200 plus.
I didn't even know he was a Red.
I didn't either.
I would say like 95 he was.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of interesting.
Trying to think who has won 200 games on the Reds and with the Twins. Do we want to go with David Wells for that?
I mean,
If anybody can think of somebody better.
I know I can't for right now.
Bronson Royal didn't win 200 games, right? Just throwing a gay name out.
No.
No.
What about Johnny Cueto?
Yeah, I feel like it's more on the obvious side. I feel like
I
Wells
don't-
is- I like Armin's one. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Tony Womack. Tony Womack. I think I ought to go with Tony Womack.
Okay.
Okay. That works.
Okay. That could work.
0.4.
Point
love
four.
Ryan
My
Huston and
goodness, that
Emma.
was a good one.
MLB
On fire with that
MVP
one.
Baseball 2005. All right, 200 wins. Trying to think. Blue Jays.
I'm thinking for Cincinnati right now. I'm trying to think of an easier one.
So I'm just throwing a couple names out. Wells, Clemens, David Cohn did not get there. Halladay is super obvious. Trying to think.
Trying to think too. Other guys.
Jays. Did Kenny Rogers pitch for the Jays?
I had one guess. It wasn't Kenny Rogers.
No, he didn't. Shitballs.
What about Mark Burley?
Burley is one.
He pitched a lot with the White Sox. He was part of that.
Actually, Kenny Rogers would work for the Twins.
We can do Kenny Rogers.
All right, Kenny
Sounds
Rogers it is. 0.6%.
Does anyone have anything better than Mark Burley?
I feel like we got to drift from Burley because obviously he's like known.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm pretty sure R.A. Dickey did not win 200 games.
No, he did not.
I don't think so either.
Wish he did, but he did not.
Let's
Robert
see.
Allen Dickey did not.
I don't know how you memorize that, but
Let me see if this name won it. I don't think he did, but I'll check.
trying to think like iconic Blue Jays starters. Fuck, man.
This isn't easy, man.
No,
Not at
it's
all.
not.
Not at all.
Damn. Blue Jays 200 wins.
We also said David Wells too, right?
Yeah. We could also save that for Reds.
We
'Cause
can
I
do
feel like
that.
that's a rarity.
Yeah, we'll do that for the Reds. I'm trying
David,
to
I
think.
will do that for the Reds. So let's type in David Wells. 5%. That's not terrible considering the player
It's
he is.
not.
Yeah, the best I could think of is Mark Burley. Unless there's someone I'm like,
Oh my gosh! I just thought of the name.
who?
A Mets legend would have worked for it.
Who?
Seaver.
Tom Seaver, I think he said.
Tom Seaver.
Oh,
He would have been Reds.
Shoot.
Crap.
How did I forget Seaver?
Oh, guys, you're missing an obvious. Blue Jays. Roger Clemens.
I said Roger Clemens.
Or
is gonna-
Halladay. Halladay works too.
Fuck.
But Halladay would have been
we
the
said
easy
those
answer.
names already. We're trying to think of not obvious.
I know, but that's another one. There are like two other guys I could probably think of. Like,
Here's one. Phil Necro.
there's also what's his name? The former Detroit pitcher. Forget his name. It's like Morris, I think. I think it was Morris.
Jack Morris.
Jack
Yeah,
Morris.
it's another one.
That's
And then a more recent pitcher, more recent one, I think. Can't remember where I can't remember. He was more known for his stint with the White Sox.
Burley.
I said Burley.
Yeah, those are the only names I could really come up with.
That's a zone out, Brian.
Kind of rare. That's not a
That's-
zone out. I was too busy
Dude,
focused on the Reds.
we had a whole discussion on that.
I say Jack Morris.
I'll go
I would
Jack.
go with Morris too.
All right. It's not going to be as good as the last time, but 22. That's not bad.
Pretty good.
That's pretty
Pretty good.
Okay. This is nice. Okay. All right. Why is my shit not working? Okay, but we do have some comments because Sunil came back from the treadmill and he's addressing the shots.
Yeah, no, Sunil, you have no balls. You have the balls of a transvestite. Okay, that's what you got.
The
Wait, why did
Seagulls,
I get it? Why did I get a hit? What did I do?
no DeAndre Swift and Jalen Hurts possibly facing concussion tests. Well, he came back in the game.
Yeah.
Unless he's
Jags,
back on the concussion
Christian
protocol.
Kirk got ruled out for the
So,
game.
All right, let's talk some MLB offseason. I think we are.
Yes.
Let's go.
I
It's
think
time.
we are. I think we ought to start with the New York Yankees. I did a video on it. If you guys haven't already, check it out. But the Juan Soto discussion has begun. The talks have ramped up, though they are in stall because of a few certain players. And I did a video on this. Brian, you said you had some information or you had a little something that you wanted to share with us before we go on.
Something a little bit with Ohtani, because
Okay.
listen, any little small things I can talk about, I'm going to talk about. Anything
Mhm.
little, because I have to be very careful with the way I word things. I don't want to give people the wrong idea or give anybody optimism that's not like
Right.
obvious. So let's talk about the main things that Ohtani is looking for, right, for a team. What would you say are some obvious things that Ohtani is looking for outside of the close to his hometown in Japan and that proximity thing? What would be the main things he's looking for?
He's looking for money. He's looking for security. He's looking for longevity. Place to
And he's
finish his
also
career.
looking for what? What else is he looking for? Winning culture. Now, as of what I've heard, again, can't say it's going to happen. Can't say not. There's an emerging front runner for Ohtani. And no, it is not the Dodgers. Although the Dodgers have the most assets to facilitate and people think it makes the most sense, there is a secondary team.
Now this was talked about today, but Armin sent a tweet in our chat kind of debunking that. It's not the Atlanta Braves.
It's not the Braves, no.
The San Francisco Giants.
That is one. Yes. They are growing up very quickly. Zardy's been looking a lot into growing up a lot of that team. You saw what happened to them this year. They know that they have something good there and they want to continue to build up and get back on track to winning again. Because again, they're only a couple years separated from having a 100-plus win season.
And they have Bob Melvin.
Yes, they do. And they saw what happened with Texas. They thought they tried the same method. That's why there's been talks with them for Ohtani. And there's been talks with them to try and get Yamamoto. And I'm talking not one or the other. I'm talking both.
No, so the
They
Yankees.
want to go for both of them. And so I could also add in, yes, the Blue Jays have spoken and are looking at Ohtani as well. The Blue Jays are heavily looking at that as an option.
Of course.
The Mets on Ohtani can
They're not.
safely say out.
They're not.
Safely.
If
Same thing with Soto. Safely out.
They're not.
Yeah, if Ohtani was happy, maybe they would consider it, but
I
also,
can't tell you Ohtani's a
Ohtani's not.
Yankee. I haven't heard much on that front.
Don't
of
need to
Ohtani
hear
being the
about it.
Yankees. Won't even mention it really.
I never even considered it. I'm going to be honest with you. But let's see. With all the
I will
reports
say
going
there
on,
is another interesting thing with I don't know if you guys heard the rumor about the Rays and what's going on with them
Arozarena
and Paredes. They're
and
looking at both
Margot.
of them. The number one team that's come up to try and suit that is a team that made the trades yesterday, which is the Mariners. The Mariners are supposedly there was talk that they'd be looking at Soto. That's why they made the move they did to get rid of Kalenic.
Yeah.
Supposedly it's actually for the Rays.
That would honestly be an upgrade because Kalenic,
yes,
Kalenic was like mid at best.
Yeah. He had 253 with like 11 home runs this season. He wasn't much.
With all the reports about Yamamoto and Ohtani, I believe they're waiting for the one to other market to get bigger. Yeah, true. No, that's definitely true. And then obviously you got all the underrated Japanese guys and the Korean guys coming in, like the Jung-Ho Lees, the Amangas of the world. But I do want to touch again, and I'll go to Lucas second, I'll go to John third, and I'll go to Brian fourth. About the Juan Soto subject, right? We got, it was last week. It came along that the Yankees and the Padres were having talks. And I only talked about it as a possibility in June, July. I was one of the first to declarate the Giants. I'm still in football. The Yankees, this team, need to go out there and trade for Juan Soto because he is that guy. He will make everybody better, and he will make the Yankees as a team better. And, of course, that's what you have to do when you have a manager in Aaron Boone. So San Diego, now a lot of Yankee fans feel some way. They feel the other way, whatever. San Diego wants the following pieces in a trade. They want Michael King, Clark Schmidt, Randy Vasquez, Drew Thorpe, Johnny Brito, and maybe one or two more pitchers. So do I think it's a little excessive that the San Diego Padres want 7 pitchers? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because why not throw a hitter in there? Why not throw somebody else in there? Right? Why is it 7 pitchers, right? And I don't know how close they want the other 2 to be, but all these guys are pretty close to the level. Vasquez has made his MLB debut. Schmidt, obviously, he's been in the league. Brito, a couple of starts. Michael King, an established reliever, could be turned starter depending on where he goes. Drew Thorpe is a top 15 prospect in the system, probably top 2 or 3 pitching prospect in the system. So I do agree if someone were to come up to me and say, hey, do you think 7 pitchers is outrageous? I think it is outrageous. But I also think that the Padres were trying to pull and yank the Yankees a little bit to see what. Now, also as well, they want to throw in Trent Grisham. If you asked me, would you have Brian? I will say yes to that. Here's why. It's not that much, honestly, because you get Grisham, right? He's going to play what? Center field for you?
Mhm.
In that case, Dominguez is out till July, August. Grisham plays. You factor in Dominguez a little bit more. I think his projected salary, because of arbitration, via spot track is something around $5 million. That's chump change. The Yankees have spent more money paying for fucking garbage like Aaron Hicks and Josh Donaldson over the last few years. Yeah, his estimate's at $5 million. And then guess what you could do? Dominguez is in, fully healthy. You make a playoff run. Whatever you do, you go out there and maybe you trade Trent Grisham for a bag of fucking chips the following offseason. You don't have to worry about him again. Or you say, okay, well, we need to agree on something. You're going to be a rotational outfielder, so on and so forth. What bothers me, and this is not something that it's not uncommon with the Yankees, right? And I'm not to the point where I'm frustrated. I'm just like not surprised, but I'm willing to talk about it. Like this is not repetitive shit. You know, this is the first time we're getting a baseball offseason, all fucking, streaming stuff, right? So he wants, meaning Brian Cashman wants to reportedly hold on to Drew Thorpe and Michael King. Or at least those are the 2 reported ones. Now I get it. Drew Thorpe, top 10, top 15 prospect, top 3 pitcher in the system. My thing is, do we remember the name Chance Adams? Do we remember the name Justice Sheffield?
Yep.
Do we remember the names Chase Whitley? Do you remember all these other different names? And why is my camera unplugging? I have no idea. It looks like I'm taking over Lucas' trend tonight. My apologies. I don't know. I guess my camera burned out or is bugging out. But with that being said, I'm still talking. I see John smiling. What bothers me is why the fuck are you hanging on to Michael King? There is, mind you, everybody, there is loads of pitching in the system if you get rid of these guys. You still got Will Warren. You still got Richard Fitz. You got Clayton Beater. You got all these different guys coming through the system. And I guess maybe they're concerned about the starting rotation, right? The guys are going to come after that, whatever, right? So King is not even an established starter in the league. Like only last year towards the end was he good as a starter. Otherwise, he was fucking garbage. Luca can corroborate my analysis on that. He was garbage. He was utter garbage. As a reliever, he had some very good stuff. Why are you hanging on to him? Why? I don't know how many years of control you have on him, but why him? Why him out of all people? You re-sign Wandy. You get a couple other guys in here. You get the pitchers from the system. And again, I don't want to take too much of the spotlight away from the rest of the crew, but let's look at the starting rotation. You trade all those guys away. You have Luis Gil coming back from the Tommy John surgery. You don't really want to depend on him too much, but he could go into the bullpen. That's where you're going to need some guys, right? Lou Trevino is no longer a Yankee. Wandy's a free agent. You don't know if he's going to come back. Clayton Beater we talked about, but also as well, there's some guys on the cheap out there that we've thrown names around. Jordan Montgomery, he's not going to be too cheap, but hey, there's been talks about a reunion. I would welcome that. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, if you want to put him all the way to the front of the rotation with him and Garrett Cole and Rodon as a 3, I'm not mad, right? But also as well, now there are a little bit of, oh my God, can he handle New York or can he handle New York again? You have Michael Wacha, who has been a very solid pitcher the last 2 years in Boston and San Diego. You got Seth Lugo. It's another name. Of course, John knows that name better than I do.
I know both names.
And a lot of other names. And you also have Eduardo Rodriguez, who maybe you could throw in. I don't. I'll ask later why Brian disagrees with me. But those are some options that you could throw in and say, we don't need this type of pitching. And I get it. The Yankees kind of want to do this Volpe, Dominguez, all this other stuff. We want to rebuild through the kids and whatnot. But it's not like they're asking for those two guys. They're not asking for Everson Piera. They're not asking for Jason Dominguez Volpe. They're not asking for Peraza. They are asking for pitchers precisely. And of course, they're going to go out there and they're going to, if you're going to sit here and hang on to Michael King, of course they're going to talk to the rival Blue Jays. The Blue Jays were in on Soto last year. So why wouldn't they be this year? Right? You know, same manager coming back, a lot of different things. They want to obviously make a jump. Soto to that outfield, my God, they would destroy us. They would destroy us if we don't have the pitching or the offense. Let's just be completely honest. So they're going to talk to the Blue Jays. That's what they're going to do. Either they're going to talk to the Blue Jays or say they are and leak it to the media so the Yankees could pony up. And now you got not just the Blue Jays, but you got several other different organizations in on Juan Soto now. I think it's up to 5 teams. I don't know if the Mariners are in on him. I don't know if some of these other teams are in on him. Brian, you look like you have something to say.
I got an Ohtani update.
Okay.
A couple hours ago, but I do have it.
Okay.
Based off circumstantial evidence pointing to so, because you can't absolutely outright ask a guy who he's talking to or whatever. Based off the hints of what's been seen from an insider with Sports Illustrated in baseball, it's looking like we have advanced talks finally for Ohtani with the team.
Okay.
And it's Toronto.
By the way, there's a lot of comments streaming through, so I want to get to those.
I also want to say real quick, you brought up Alex, the Blue Jays for Soto. Brian obviously brought up Ohtani. I did see Armin said in the chat that the Blue Jays are looking to get off of George Springer's contract, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yep, no, you're right.
Armin says Bo and Vlad have 2 years left of control because I see sort of makes sense. We just going on in the next 2 years. That's absolutely there. Hello, what's up, Jeffrey? Cashman isn't stupid. Toronto has no one to trade. I haven't looked at the system, but you don't know that. There's 3 other teams in on Soto, and the Blue Jays could pull something out of their ass. I'm not giving up King Thorpe. What? Jacob,
I'm not listening.
it's
okay.
one. I'm
gonna let you talk.
I'm speaking. One second, John. I got to get to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying for Joey Gallo. I'm not saying for Cody Bellinger. I don't want Cody Bellinger in a Yankees uniform personally, but I understand that he's quote unquote a rental. How about you bring him over, influence him to stay in New York? You actually build a winning team around him, and then hopefully he stays. And again, what's the and this is, I'm not attacking Jacob. I'm just saying as an argument in this conversation, right? What's the 8-ball saying about Drew Thorpe? Is he gonna be the next Joba Chamberlain? Is he gonna be the next Justice Sheffield? Is he gonna be the next Chance Adams, or is he gonna be the next Garrett Cole?
I could kind of give a little bit of justification on the Thorpe theory just because I watched him last year when I was working in the minors.
Yeah.
I did watch him with Hudson Valley before he got called up. No, he's legit.
No, and I'm not denying
like
that.
The Phillies guys were absolute monsters last year hitting the ball. They were power hitters. They were contact hitters. They were really good at getting on base. One of the best in the entire league and probably in the Phillies system. And Thorpe was making them look like puppies. He was surgical with the ball. A broadcaster, I shouldn't say broadcaster, somebody I know who worked at Hudson Valley said to me that they've seen this entire team last year. They said the top prospect in the system sits in Hudson Valley, and it was Drew Thorpe. He said that to me himself. He's the top guy sitting there. And the Yankees would be dumb to move him.
Okay, so real quickly before I get to John, because I know I got to get to John. Luca, could you do me a favor at this moment? Pull up the Yankees' top prospects. Now, mind you, in the Soto trade we saw, what was it, 2 years ago, something like that, right? C.J. Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, and a couple other guys.
James Wood, yep.
Those were number 1 and 2 prospects.
They were like their top prospects, like heavy.
Exactly. They were number 1 and 2. Are they asking for number 1 and 2 for the Yankees? No, they're not. If they were asking for 1 and 2 and then wanted 5 pitchers, I tell them to go fuck themselves. So whenever Luca
I already have
get a chance, okay, where's Drew Thorpe on the list?
Number 5.
Number 5. Okay. Are any of Brito, Vasquez, and King's not on there, but are any of those guys listed that I said, and I know we got comments and John to get to, are any of them listed there?
Vasquez is number 14. Brito is not on the list. Chase Hampton is number 4.
I don't
Warren
think
is number
they mentioned Hampton, but thank you for the note.
I wouldn't mind the move of Burrito. Burrito, I'm fine with that.
Brito
Nothing.
was an average starter last year at best. I mean, he doesn't have overpowering stuff. But I'm gonna get some other comments, but I want to get to John's point of view because I know he wanted to throw his 2 cents in.
Right. And, it's a very fine line of what you give up. And, as Jacob does make a good point in the chat, you cannot give all that up if it's for a 1-year rental. If you cannot guarantee Soto is extended for a long period of time, or if you cannot get him past this year, then you do not give up all those assets. Now, having said that, here's where I side with Alex. You have to look at this team last year, right? They had said all this with Brian Cashman. They said all this. Oh, we are gonna get better. What they specifically say after they brought in Carlos Rodon? Didn't he say we are not done?
They're not done.
They're not done.
My fucking ass.
Right. Because we all know what a crock of nonsense and shit that was.
And let me say this.
This
Actually, go ahead.
team needs a left fielder really badly. They also do need a center fielder. Soto is your corner outfielder. Okay, he's going to play left field. You have Judge right, your center, however you want to figure out that third outfield spot, whether you bring in Trent Grisham, whether you sign a guy like a Cody Bellinger, whether you go get Kevin Kiermaier, however it may be, right? You need some outfield help. You need a left-handed hitter in that lineup. Soto is not just an everyday player. He's a franchise player. He's 25 years old, right? One of the better eyes in the game. Has already won a World Series. Okay, great plate discipline. Can hit for average. Can hit for power. He'd be perfect in that Yankee Stadium. Okay. You give up maybe a guy like a Michael King, a Drew Thorpe, and Dominguez. That's at least a fair trade. Maybe you have to throw in another mid-level prospect or something, right? But they're asking for pitching. I understand that. The Padres are very depleted on that side. They're losing Blake Snell. Some of their other guys didn't work out last year. They really struggled to pitch last year, and that's why they weren't good the year before. And so from a Yankees standpoint of view, your offense was dreadful. I mean, when Aaron Judge went down, you guys looked pathetic. And Jacob, you don't know what you're talking about because Juan Soto clears Jason Dominguez at his age.
Wait, what did he say? I'm way up in the comments section. What did he say?
He's saying, Dominguez, John, you're joking. No, I'm not joking. The guy's coming off an injury, first off. Second off, Juan Soto is a top player in the game. This is like it's clear. It'd easily be a fair trade. Easily. You're not getting mid-level prospects for Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, I said you don't do the trade if it's for a rental. So maybe you should hear that. But again, you do not do it for a rental. Okay. You get him long-term. Now, Brian, here's the thing with Alex and talking about these prospects. There has been so many prospects the Yankees have kept in the minors that have been wasted away. They have been wasted away. They held on to them for too long before they can get actual real value. You mentioned Justice Sheffield, who I think you guys turned into who was it? James Paxton at the time. I mean that didn't really work out for either team, right? Clint Frazier, perfect example. How many years did they hold on to him to where his value was pretty much nothing?
They didn't even play him until 21.
Well. Exactly.
Andujar. They didn't even start left field because they had Brett Gardner.
Exactly. Pretty much wasted young talent there. I know he turned out to nothing, but he was something at first. Let's be real here. He was something at first. Okay? So there's that. And then you got all these pitchers that you've had in the past, all these position player prospects that you've held on and you've done nothing with. Brian Cashman has done a terrible job of turning assets into actual production on the field. It's true. You can't even deny it. You can't even deny it. And if they hold on to more of these prospects and they don't pan out, Yankee fans are going to be pissed on that.
Yeah, let me hold on, give me 1 second. So here I gave you 4 prospects, right? Chase Hampton, who's in AA, Will Warren, who's in AAA, Richard
I like
Fitz
Chase
is in
Hampton.
AA, and Clayton Beater in AAA. And I'm not gonna sit here and shit on Drew Thorpe. I'm not, because he's the top pitcher in the system. But how many times have we gone over this of, well, this, that, and the other thing? Oh, we gotta. I'm scrolling up to this. I'm in like a bunch of comments here. Like, I get the rental side.
We're not. I'm not saying you guys aren't listening. I'm not.
No. I know your point, John.
Yeah, no. I'm telling the chat. I am not saying for a rental. I am not saying do it for a rental. I am saying if you get him long term, you pull the trigger with some of those guys. Okay. If you can't do it, then it's too much to give up, and it's not worth it, because maybe he's got Scott Boras as his agent. And what do you mean, no, Brian?
I'm shaking my head at Armand's comment.
Oh, okay.
With Dominguez in there, he's got to be crazy.
No. Why?
Wait. What did you say, Alex?
I would do it. Hell,
Do
if Anthony Volpe was in that package, I'd do it.
Why?
Alex, you have gone off the rails. This is not okay.
No, we haven't. Brian.
No,
Bro, I haven't gotten a word in 5 minutes. I've been sitting in silence.
Get your word in, Luca. I've given you
Why
the
wouldn't
time.
you do it?
Okay,
Why
I
wouldn't
put
you
in.
do it?
You've got your time. Speak, Luca. Go.
Can I give my thoughts, please?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I've been
Sorry.
sitting here for 5 minutes. I do agree with John. The Yankees do need to lock up Soto long term if you're going to give up that type of package. And B, I'll concur with the 2 in the panel. I would give up Dominguez for Juan Soto. Juan Soto is an out of this world ball player. He is not injury prone. As John said, he has a great eye for the ball at the plate. He's rangy in the outfield. He is, as John said, a franchise player. Why would Dominguez? Yes, he has the potential to be a great star. Potential. And that's all we've done here is said, oh, Volpe has the potential to be this. Peraza has the potential to be this. Will Warren, Drew Thorpe has the potential to be this. But what prospect, again, you go back to the Yankees history, what prospect outside of Aaron Judge has actually worked out for this team at the moment? I'm not saying, Volpe can't be a star, Peraza can't be a star, all this and that. I'm saying at the moment, is Jason Dominguez better than Juan Soto?
And I want to hear John's thoughts before we get to Brian's rebuttal.
No. What I was going to say is, Brian, why wouldn't you pull the trigger? Because it's not like this hasn't been a problem for years. What have the Yankees consistently not been able to do playoff after playoff after playoff? Brian, that's a zone out.
That's not a zone out. That's
No,
me.
he's
Okay,
You're
fair
not
enough.
having an
Fair
answer.
enough. I thought. What
I
have they
don't
not
have
been
an
able
answer.
to do?
I don't have an answer.
What do you mean you don't have an answer? You've been watching them.
They haven't been, Brian, they haven't been hitting in the playoffs consistently. They need a clutch hitter. Juan Soto,
Correct.
Juan Soto showed that when he was a rookie.
You're
with the
right.
Mets.
19
You're right.
years old.
19 years old.
But I don't think it's worth losing Dominguez. I couldn't let him go.
Why?
I
Why?
wouldn't let him go. That
But
to me,
why-
that's an untouchable prospect. Untouchable.
But Brian, has he shown you like Juan Soto stuff? Like, again, we're looking at potential of what Dominguez can be. If
You're going off a guy who played how many games for the Yankees before he got hurt? How
I'm
many
not
games?
Brian. I'm not going to
That's the
deny you
problem.
that he. Brian, I'm not going to deny you that he played very well. I'm not. I'm not going to disagree with you there. But if you hold on to Dominguez and lose out on this trade to Juan Soto, absolutely unforgivable.
You can't lose out on this trade.
unless-
That's what you don't know. You can't lose.
Unless Dominguez becomes a star, and there's not many, to be fair, that have become
Brian,
a star with the Yankees.
Hold up.
Jacob just made the point to eliminate everything, by the way. He just made the point.
What do you
What
say?
do you say?
They haven't asked for Dom, and they're not getting Dom.
That's true. We're just talking the
No. I'm saying if you do it, because that's Armin's comment. I'm
Correct.
saying if the Padres wanted it, you do it.
I'm
going to tell you what I'm not okay with. I'm going to be a little bit more detailed. Just
Okay.
why. Because I do believe the kid's got a good future with the Yankees, and I would like to keep him with the Yankees. And here's why. Because I'm telling you this as someone who knows what the clubhouse was thinking last year, the entire year. If you think Stanton is staying in New York by the trade deadline this year, you're out of your mind.
Oh, he's probably not.
If you
Brian-
think and even then, if you think he's staying past next season and he's not getting traded, you're out of your mind.
He should have been gone.
They will not buy out his contract. They will force a trade out for him.
No, I mean,
He is not staying there. They're going to cut down his time in the outfield. Cashman's already talking about moving him into the infield. I'm not even joking. I'm
What?
talking about him getting some reps in the infield. That's actually been a conversation.
That's terrible.
That's
To get a
awful.
few reps in the infield.
That would be a
This way,
disaster. This
because we
man has
noticed
a
when he
whole
plays
week or
in the
hamstring.
game, he hits better. When he plays out in the field, he's better.
Might as well be a base
if
coach.
he doesn't have the arm to work in the outfield, and he doesn't have the legs
To
and the
run.
durability to stay in the outfield, the option is you put him in the infield and you let him get some reps there. This has actually been mentioned.
That's a disaster because
That's
the only
terrible.
position you could think of even putting him at is first, and Anthony
can't even
Rizzo's
do that.
first baseman.
And you can't even do that. Not even just because of that, John. You imagine him trying to stretch.
Oh my God, the dude would be like the game.
dude
from
would split
operation.
in
Are you
fucking
kidding me?
half.
And
Are you
the
kidding me?
craziest part is you can't put him at DH because the one thing you need him to do, he can't do. He can't hit it at DH. He's gotta
it's
go.
crazy.
I
No,
want
it's
to.
gonna get
I'm saying regardless, he's going to have to go at some point, and you
No, I
need
agree.
something to back up and be ready to replace him. Why not try and get Dominguez back for 2025 and use him as the replacement? Outside of that, here's your other option. Spencer Jones is coming up. He's coming up in 2025. He doesn't get traded. He stays. He's the future
Why are we
outfielder.
punting?
What about
But
Pereira? being
why are
an
you
option?
giving up on
What-
this year?
What about Pereira being an option? Everson Pereira, he was just up this year.
I'm
No,
not
no,
sold on
honestly,
Pereira.
I wouldn't.
Not
Not
sold
even-
on him.
Not even about the prospect, but why are you waiting the whole year?
I wouldn't
Why are
even.
you waiting a whole year? Because you're pretty much saying we're going to run it back. And you know what happened this year? They didn't make the playoffs. You think Yankee fans are
I'm
happy
not
they missed
saying
the
they're
playoffs?
running it back. I'm saying this is Stanton's last year no matter what. And you have to think beyond next year. And
No,
just
look,
understand, no matter what happens, when the trade happens, Juan Soto will not allow him, will not be okay with the trade unless he knows for a fact that he is going to get a long-term deal. I mean, you saw it mentioned already. You know who his agent is? It's Scott Boras. Boras is going to get
Yes,
him
sir.
a long-term contract no matter what. So wherever
Brian-
he goes, that team's going to be willing to shell out that money. The Yankees are going to shell out this money.
Brian, I honestly I thought if anyone can tell me who's better in a left field spot, because I know, I'll even think of outfielders that are better than Juan Soto because there's not many. Acuna, I'm talking more so like
That's isn't outfield anymore. They're moving
I
into
know,
second.
I know. You know what? That's actually a good point. He's going to be second base, so I won't even count Betts there. Acuna, and you want to go two guys for the future with a longer run, maybe Corbin Carroll and J-Rod. Other than that, you can't give me another guy better than Juan Soto
Can I say this too?
in the
I wanna-
outfield
And I,
spot.
and I do agree with this trade decision by Jacob. I like this one.
That's honestly, I'm gonna give it to you right now. That trade would never happen.
it wouldn't
never.
happen, but I'd like it.
No, it would never happen because AJ Preller would hang up the phone and fucking laugh his ass off. But anyway, I want to get
Would
to
want
that.
more.
But here's the thing, though, to kind of go against Brian's point. You're talking about, okay, see what you have in Dominguez for 2025, right? Spencer Jones is coming up. So why don't you just deal with Stanton this year, trade for Juan Soto, bring in Trent Grisham if you want, if not, whatever. Then what you do is you get Stanton now for 2025, bring back Dominguez, Soto can switch to DH, and Spencer Jones is going to be in left or center field. Why can't you just do that?
You could do that. You could. It's an option. This is why I'm saying the only way I should have specified this one part better. If you move on from Dominguez, the only reason would be that you have more trust in Spencer Jones being a future outfielder for the Yankees. That would be
Essentially.
the only reason you make that move. And I would really hate to see it because I had a lot of hope for this kid. I did.
Right.
A
And
lot
again,
of hope for him.
I don't think they're
So
giving him up.
that's kind of part of it too, like you have this hope, you're holding it out, saying this kid looked really good when he was playing. It's unfortunate this injury happened. I would hate to give up on this before, we really get to see a full season out of him.
Right.
Right, but again, like to my point, I don't mean to cut you off. There's not many outfielders better than Juan Soto out there. It's true. There's really not many, and for the long run too. I'm not just talking about older guys that are having great seasons. Juan Soto is a franchise player. If they want a few pitching, whoever they want, right? Barring, and I stress it again, not for a rental. If you get him for long term, you
will be
pull the
long-term
trigger.
no matter what.
You
So,
pull the
yes.
trigger. It cannot be for a rental. I don't think that's how I'm stressing it.
But
Okay. And I'm saying no matter where he goes, it will be long term. Now, I have to also mention, if you think the Yankees are the only team wanting Soto, I hate to break it to you.
no. I said there's like
but
4
we know who the other team is that's been talking.
Blue
Well,
Jays.
yeah, and there's 3 more.
And they won't get both. They can only get one. And it looks like they're
The
trying
Jays,
to
yeah.
go a little bit more towards Ohtani right now than Soto. But if they miss out on Shohei, you can bet everything they will go full force at Soto if the Yankees don't get this deal done.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through a couple of comments. Of course, we can still engage in the discussion because I feel like there's going to be a couple of comments that we agree or disagree with, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why this one wouldn't work, because I'm pretty sure Hampton is in the teens and prospects.
I disagree. What happened?
I'm
I was going to
referring.
Alex. He's the 4th best Yankee prospect.
Yeah.
I'll double check that for you. Number 4.
I still think this wouldn't go personally, but
It wouldn't, because that's Hampton's probably your best potential wise, but you got who were the other two? It was Schmidt and Vasquez.
Schmidt, Brito, Vasquez.
Those guys aren't like they could be they could be back end starters, but they're not going to be frontline guys.
Knew it. Jacob just put in a new comment.
Well, I mean, I
Knew
haven't seen it yet, but Jacob says King showed he could start. He can't, not in the long term.
He's a spot starter at best.
Also, I would 100% move on from Schmidt in a heartbeat. He's got no put away pitch, nothing elite level, all very good stuff. No put away pitch. Every good starter in a rotation has a good put away pitch. He doesn't have one. He's just very good at everything.
Cronenworth is a contract. If it sweetens the deal, then they will take that on. I think it's like 7 more years or something. I don't know.
7 more years.
King has 3 more years of control. Too much for a rental, but who here's what I'm asking, and not even just the rental part. Who the fuck is Michael King to hold up a trade? Not that he's personally holding it up. He's not Zach Wilson. But it's not like he's
great comparison.
Noah on Eduardo Rodriguez, Alex.
Here's
Soto straight up. It would not be King for Soto.
Here's the remaining contract for Cronenworth. He is up till about 2031, when that's when he's a free agent. He's also got an 8-team no trade list. $7 million this upcoming season, $11 million in 2025, and the rest of the way it's $12 million.
Okay. Cashman isn't stupid. Toronto has no one to trade. Cashman may not be stupid, but he's egotistical. I'll say that much. Sometimes your ego blocks your smarts and blocks the balls you have. Talking about this one, there's a couple more I got to get to. They have no one of value.
Oh, we already got to that.
There is no way that I just read that.
What?
Okay, I know it's football, but I'm going to go to the update anyway. I'm sure people were concerned about how Oregon's going to replace Bo Nix. You can solve your problems now. Dylan Gabriel's transferring to there.
That doesn't really shock me.
It does to me, because I didn't think the Ducks were going to have an answer. I thought they had some good backups, but apparently that's something. It's not confirmed yet, but according to the College Transfer Portal, which is a Twitter account dedicated to helping portal players reach their end zone, that's what they said. Sources told them that Gabriel's going to transfer to Oregon.
And here's the thing. I'll say this, right? I don't disagree that the Blue Jays have nobody of value. Like, they may have some value, right? They may have some value in the system. But the threat of them even being in the conversation should have Cashman shitting his fucking pants. And then again, add 3 more teams today. 3 more teams. If Boris wasn't his agent, I would agree. I don't think the agent should matter.
Blue Jays don't, Alex, for the record, the Blue Jays don't even have a top 30 prospect across MLB. Their highest prospect is Ricky Tiedemann, who's in AAA, and he's expected to come up this year. He's 31st.
Boris never lets his guys sign. Alex asked Zane. The Jays have Tiedemann in the system, and Manoah could be back for Grisham or maybe contract against Soto. Cash isn't going to negotiate with him. No, he's not going to negotiate with himself. But he had the shot when he was The only team, the Yankees were the only team. You guys all know this. They were the only team in on Juan Soto. What happened? Talk stalled. Then we started hearing about the Blue Jays, whether that was a leak or not. And again, I'm in the major side of you got to make this trade because it's Juan Soto. The rental stuff you worry about later on. You win the World Series first or you make a run. The Yankee, we're not even talking about making deep playoff runs. We didn't even make the fucking playoffs last year.
Yeah, I gotta say, hold on about making a world. Hold on about that. I'm on the side with you, but getting Juan Soto for the team isn't enough for the Yankees.
Oh no!
I'm just letting you know. Hold on with that. There.
Can't compare. Alex, you can't compare that trade. Soto had 3 years of control at that point. No, I think he's talking about the trade. The one where he was traded, but still, though, I mean,
You're getting a franchise player. I don't think people think people forget how good he is.
It's really not insane. It's the leverage game.
Mm-hmm.
It's business. Like if they asked for Dominguez and Volpe and Peraza on top of that, I'd say okay, they are insane. But no, I'm sorry, I don't think it's insane at all. Pull your strings. According to Pete, what they're discussing. I would take, as I said before, I would take Trent Grisham's contract. It's a piece of friggin' cake.
Okay.
Dominguez, John. Yes, we would. We and I don't know. Again, you guys are a little bit more advanced on the comments because I was all the way up. You guys are all the way down. I would do Dominguez, and I said I would do Volpe, but again, that's going to be. I would get roasted for that. Dominguez isn't a fair trade for Soto 1 year. Let's see. Just trying to go through here. Keep in mind, we also have 6 catches on the 40. Not sure about San Diego's catching situation, but that could be a throw in as well if they want it, though. Soto is a top 10 player, but Dominguez not in any trade, even long term. Soto Dominguez not getting a trade because the Padres have to trade for him. The ball's in the Yankees' court. Very much disagree. The ball is in the Yankees' court, but it's the leverage isn't on their side. Then maybe I ought to explain it a little bit better.
No. I think the somewhat the leverage is on the Yankees side.
If teams are more interested, if there's more chatter, that's how they lose leverage.
I should say away from the Padres.
As time goes on, the Padres are losing leverage.
Right.
Also, Alex, because their owner died. I think that's also some people that forget to mention their owner died.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I also got a Braves update for you.
Okay.
The Braves haven't shown interest in Shohei, and their interest in Dylan Cease now is considered overblown.
Someone was doing some major Braves PR work.
They'll still be making a couple significant moves, but those two are pretty much done for.
Well, I still know they want to get rid of Marco Gonzalez.
This is coming from Mark Bowman. That's the beat writer for the Braves.
Yeah. Alex, Luca, and Brian, who's more valuable, King or Schmidt? It's King, but
King.
That's like comparing a fucking colored pencil to a crayon. I mean, but anyway, has to trade him. They're not getting Dominguez with even a contract extension. And we're not trading all these top pitchers. I think Schmidt, Thorpe, Vasquez.
Yeah, no, that's not
initially the framework they're looking for right there.
That's not working because Vasquez is at like 14, Thorpe is at like 4. They're gonna be asking for more than, and Schmidt is mid. So
that's why I said 2 lower guys.
I mean, I'm sorry. I don't think that's going to happen. Even long term, John Dominguez isn't going to be included. They have to trade Soto, and no one can beat our offer. We're competing against ourselves.
You don't know. You don't know that. You don't know.
Or others. I've mentioned
Toronto.
I am 18 minutes delayed on comments, so I apologize. But this is, as I said, there was a lot of comments. There's 4 other teams. Sports.
No. I completely get it, but there could be other teams that ask for Juan Soto that we don't even know. Like we don't know every conversation.
I'm gonna read you, Alex, all the stuff he's saying at the bottom while you keep catching up.
Okay.
He just said we have all the leverage. They have to trade Soto. Everyone knows it. They have to trade Soto. We're negotiating with ourselves right now. Cash is no real threat. Keep in mind, it's unlikely Toronto gets Soto and Ohtani. So if Brian is right, that takes a contender out of Soto. You're worried about rankings too much. We don't know how Padres feel about Vasquez, and I don't know if they have to trade him. Yes, I do know everyone knows they have to trade him. And John, if there were other teams that were threats, the Padres would have leaked it.
There was
They don't have to leak it right
a
away.
report. There
There's
a
already
report
an
out
original
there.
report out there. That
There was
the Blue
3
Jays,
other teams other than the Yankees and the Blue
Yeah.
Jays.
We already knew that too, so I don't know where he's going with this.
So I'm just giving you the facts. Like, I know this is a debate, this is a competitive conversation, but the Yankees are not bidding against themselves. I promise you that. And I bet you in some situation, even if the Yankees were supposedly bidding against themselves, they're not, because another team would have jumped on the phone and said, "Hey, you guys gonna give Soto to the Yankees? We could offer a better deal." A Seattle could do that. Some of these other teams could do that. Trust me. So it's not. And I'll say this as well. Depending on the pitching system and the pitching system, I feel like Ohtani suitors, if they don't get Ohtani or they give up, they say, "We're gonna go trade for Soto."
yeah,
It's a one or the other game.
it's a domino effect. It's a domino effect. And you mentioned the Blue Jays obviously have interest, and I know Armin's asking, hold on, he says, were the other 3 teams leaked? Who are
No,
on?
not the names.
There's rumor there's nothing specifically like leaking it, but you can take some guesses if you want. I mean, that any team would want a Juan Soto.
Seattle's a perfect example.
Seattle's a perfect example. You want another team that might want Juan Soto? How about the Phillies?
Almighty just added one. He said he saw a report that said the Astros were interested.
There's
that
another
was
one
headline too.
Yeah, I mean, they could go on him. How about another sneaky team that's trying to push their chips in? They just got a big time manager. How about the Cubs? They're looking. If they miss out on Ohtani,
Is it Bellinger?
I wouldn't rule them out, but I don't know.
They could be a dark horse. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
I know they definitely had interest in Ohtani, big time Ohtani interest, but I don't know about Soto.
I know. I'm just saying for anyone that misses out on Ohtani, there's got to be teams. You know what? You could even throw in the Dodgers. They're never out of it.
They're always in it, especially since they're moving Mookie. They're going to need something in the outfield.
Another team that's in on Ohtani that might miss out. What about the Giants? They might want.
It's San Fran. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did mention that. I said the Giants would definitely be a team after Ohtani, but who knows? Maybe Soto too.
And again, I will disclaimer that I'm behind on comments because I'm just catching up to all these, but these are good. That continues the conversation. John, we're bailing them out. It's not like they don't have to trade. They don't have to trade. So everyone and their mother knows they're going to trade him. Therefore, the Yankees have all the leverage. And I know he'll probably respond.
Doesn't matter if there's 4 other teams. I don't think we're grasping that. You could say the Yankees have all the leverage in the world, but if there's other teams involved, do they really have the leverage?
No.
Exactly. And this is actually a good comment. I want to read this one.
No, I actually disagree with the last part. They can afford them. They can afford to extend them.
The Yankees should not go after. I think he actually commented on my my Soto video, so thank you for that. But the Yankees should not go after Soto. He's a rental. They give him too much, and they can't afford to extend him. I would disagree with that. They just don't want to pay the tax.
The reasoning. I agree with the thought process about the actual statement.
A Gold Glove first baseman on the IL. Yankees will have to eat Stan's money to get rid of him. I doubt Hal will do that. This one was kind of the same comments before. As I said, my offer would be hot. I mean, I think anyone would. They don't want Pereira. And I'm telling you that, like I know that they don't want Pereira. They want pitchers, and Pereira's not that good.
Brad just hit us with something.
Okay.
He said Cubs, Seattle, Dodgers, and Houston all said they're out on Soto, so they're not giving up.
Not if they don't get. I specifically said not if they get Ohtani. If they all lose out on Shohei Ohtani, I guarantee you there will be more. Alex, 100% right. You lose out on the best hitter in baseball, probably. There will be a boatload of teams calling up the Padres and saying, "All right, we couldn't get Ohtani. What's it going to take for Juan Soto?"
Especially since he's going to be on DH all year, he won't be able to pitch. He's going to be able to hit this year, and then next year he'll be back to pitching. And teams are talking about if they sign him, Ohtani will not serve as a starter. There's teams discussing him as a closer and a relief pitcher instead, because they know that he needs the durability. Your arm breaks down over time to save those years. put him in the bullpen, which we have seen happen before. Remember, with Babe Ruth, one of the last great two-way players, when he came over to the Yankees from Boston, the decision was, you're not going to pitch anymore. We'll rarely put you in unless we're in an emergency situation. And they rarely put them in. He became exclusively a hitter, and he became a monster with the Yankees. It's made his career and legacy even stronger.
You're
Could
right.
be the same thing here with Sean.
Brian, I 100% agree with you. 100%.
Dark horse team for
Wow.
Soto, the Blue Jays. Yeah, we did say that. Yeah, 6.3. Keep going, Sunil. Congrats on the
I love that, Sunil.
the grind. Draft picks are not tradable in the MLB.
Not an MLB.
It's like a yard sale. You got to get out of your house by the end of the day, and can't take crap with you. So you got to lessen the deal to get something. I guess he's talking about the Cronenworth thing. Why shit his pants if he knows Toronto has no one to top his offer? We don't. As much as I will agree with you, we don't know that because they could come out on anywhere and say, hey, we're going to offer you this, this, and this. Mano and Vladdy have played. Yeah, definitely. We went over this one before. Keep in mind, it's unlikely. Yeah, went over this one.
You went over that one.
Yeah,
that one.
I think we might have caught up.
I think we did. Yeah, Altuve and the comment down. Altuve and Bregman will be free agents after the season, so I could see a run to where the Astros go on and Lance Soto and play him left field and make Giordano the DH every day. I could see that, honestly. Like, that's a very realistic situation. But
Almighty, be nice, man. Be nice.
But what was I going to say? Houston can't afford, so they're trying to. Don't sleep on them. Do not sleep on the Astros.
I don't think it's about affording with Houston. I think Jim Crane will pay up.
He'll pay up just to kick the Yankees in the ass again. Trust me. I know last year was an off year.
There's money coming off the books, as Armin said.
Think of it like this: they have made 7 straight championship series. You don't think they're trying to hold on to every last bit they can?
Right. Maybe they could position maybe they'll take Cronenworth's contract and move him over to third base, just to take Juan Soto. There was a report that said the Astros are not trading Bregman. Okay.
There's reports everywhere.
Why would you trade Bregman either? Why would you?
They're not going to this year, I don't think.
No. But my final verdict, I also want to get Brian's quick thoughts on why he wouldn't take Trent Grisham, but my final verdict, I'm all in on Juan Soto. And yeah, again, I would sit here and say, hey, I would trade Volpe for him. I would trade Dominguez for him in the right package.
With Grisham, I don't think he had the best year last year.
No, he sucked.
And I think if you're talking about having him as a bench piece, okay. He would pretty much service similar to what Marwin Gonzalez serviced a couple years back. That's just how I feel about it. And I'm not sure if I'm okay with the idea of that.
If it sweetens the deal, I'm down. John,
I like the idea of people saying Cronenworth, but with Cronenworth, because he's better, you would have to again sweeten the deal with stronger players.
Right, but in another light, Cronenworth has a bigger contract, lengthwise.
Correct.
Right.
Grisham is all arbitration.
That's why I just would, if they needed to take on Grisham for a year. The guy can great glove in the outfield. Has problem hitting, except if it's against the Mets in the playoffs. I know that joke, but great glove in the outfield. Okay, so you look in outfield potentially of Judge, Soto, and Grisham. 2 of the guys are the best hitters in the game. If Grisham just gives you average hitting, that's fine.
Yeah,
he's a terrific defender out there.
Grisham
and also, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I agree with your point. Cronenworth's got 7 years left. Not worth it. Plus, you got a log jam of infield to begin with.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Cronenworth. I'll let Brian answer this one because it's for him. But I'd take Grisham over Cronenworth.
If you're going off contract, yeah, Grisham. In terms of impact, I think Cronenworth would have much more of an impact. But again, it's down to what are the Yankees willing to do? What are they willing to spend? And what are they willing to do to become a winning culture once again and to reestablish that? Knowing that Brian Cashman, guaranteed, is on his last leg this year.
Right.
What is he going to do to prove himself? It feels like 2008 all over again. You need to spend, and you need to spend massively big. And I know I said it like 2 words, like the same exact thing, but that's the point. You have to spend a lot of money, just like we did in 08 to get a championship in 09. Same thing here. You have to spend to ease the masses.
Right.
Got to prove it. Got to prove it. You want to win? Show you want to win. That's especially how every Yankee fan feels. Armando with the bombshell just now.
Yep, Gary Sanchez.
Could be coming back to the Padres.
Still doesn't mean they wouldn't go for a catcher.
The former Yankee and Met.
Well, I guess this, I mean,
I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I know.
I got some
very
tweets
good.
today that said something like 200, 225, but I want to transition, and you guys can still ask your Yankee questions. I want to transition a little bit into the Mets because they made some moves this past week, particularly when we were actually at the Rangers game.
It's you know what's funny? Can I tell you about that just a little
Sure.
bit? So I was at a Rangers game last year on the day that Jacob deGrom left the Mets, and as soon as I took these 2 gentlemen to a Rangers game below me and to my left, you get what I mean.
Yes.
But
John.
all of a sudden we start hearing, the Mets signed Severino, the Mets signed Joey Wendell. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Every time I go to a Rangers game, there's got to be like some Mets news that breaks. What are you referring to? Because there's been a lot of reports, Jacob, if I may ask. He said they might trade Alonso this offseason and how it's unlikely to be this week. Well, I call bullshit on that because a lot of the Mets reporters, a lot of the beat reporters out there have said the Mets are interested more in the free agent class and not the trade market. Brad says, screw the Mets, they're worthless. Well, the Yankees are worthless too because they didn't make the playoffs. So join the club, you worthless Australian. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Brad. I love you. But anyway.
I have a hockey thing for you, John. Did you hear what the NHL just did?
I am not looking at Twitter, so
It's been
Something with
projected
salary
that they're
cap,
going to
right?
raise the salary cap by $4 million.
they're raising it.
Yep, it's finally going to be
Yeah.
unfrozen. They're raising it up by $4 million.
That's good for a lot of teams, actually.
It's big because they're saying that they've like froze it because they were getting the
Yeah, no,
players
it's been
to pay their
frozen ever
debts and
since the
stuff,
COVID
but
thing.
they're good.
Whole nother thing for another day. But regardless and nevertheless, that was funny, Armin. I just read his comment. But so let's talk about some of the stuff they have done. The biggest thing, the Luis Severino. Now, here's the thing with Luis Severino. He had a horrific year last year. These 3 gentlemen know it as they've watched him pretty much, I guess, their whole career, or his whole career, because he's been a Yankee his whole career. This is the first time he's going over. There is a report today saying that they had interest in him, despite them bringing over Carlos Mendoza. Obviously, the obvious connection from the Yankees. They apparently have a very good relationship. Whatever that did help or didn't, doesn't matter. He's still here. And it's not as bad as people say because it's a 1-year rental. It is a 1-year, $10 million deal with like $3 million incentives. So you add it up, it's like $13 million. Whatever. It's a 1-year deal. I am not enamored with Luis Severino. I am not enamored with his production because, number one, it was awful last year. His control was very bad last year. He was either wildly too much over the plate or wildly inaccurate. We saw that a few times on stream, I believe, when we covered some Yankee games here. Now, here's the thing, though, with Luis Severino. There's 2 major points that I love to make here. Number one, the issue with Tommy John surgery is not that big of an issue, in my opinion, because what year did he have Tommy John? Was it 2019?
He didn't pitch all of 2020.
Or 2020. So I don't remember the exact year he had the Tommy John, but it was around that time. Now we still see his velocity at an uptick. So it still touches 97, 98, 99 if he really dials it back. So I'm not too worried about that. I am worried about his health, though, because this pitcher has really not proven that he can stay healthy, which is a bit of a concern because, you need pitchers to, obviously, you need players to stay healthy, but you need pitching to win games. And You look at Severino's track record. After his last All-Star season in 2018, Severino started 3 games in 2019, did not pitch at all in 2020, did not start a game in 2021, appeared in 4, started 22 games in 2022, and started 18 total games in 2023. So he hasn't pitched 32 games since 2018. That is a problem to me because it shows that you cannot, you are not reliable enough to stay on the field. However, though, one thing I will say, the positive, the upside is still there, but have we noticed that sometimes when, and this is more of an indictment on the Yankees, no offense to you guys, but I am sure you'll agree with me, a lot of times when there are players that aren't working out in New York with the Yankees, they are going to different places and they are succeeding. Let's look at some guys. Sonny Gray went from the Yankees to the Twins. Sonny Gray kicked ass this year in Minnesota.
Oh, he went from the Reds.
Sorry, he went to the Reds.
And then he went
to
the
Twins.
The Twins.
Sonny, I mean, the Reds maybe not the greatest example of a team that develops good pitching because they haven't in a while. But Sonny Gray pitched very good for them. I'm not saying Luis Severino is going to have a bounce-back all-star season. But if he's your 5th or 6th starter, right, he's toward the closer to the back end, then that is excellent because you have someone with upside. And if you have a 6-man rotation, maybe that helps him. Maybe that helps him, pitch okay ball, He's more of the risk over a guy like a Kyle Gibson because Kyle Gibson, one of those starters will give you a mid-starter, a 6-inning, 3, 4, 5-run guy. Severino can either pitch 6-inning shutout ball or he can pitch 6 innings, 8-run ball. Because we've seen it happen before. But my point is it's not a horrible contract because it's only a 1-year deal. Now, if it's the only contract they give to a starter, which I do not believe that'll be the case because the Mets have shown interest in Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the guy I covet. Another guy I would really covet, Jordan Montgomery. You guys know about him too. A terrific starter, a fantastic starter. We know what he was able to do for Texas in the postseason. He might not be a number 1, but he's definitely a number 2 starter at least. Another guy I wouldn't even mind for the middle of the rotation, Eduardo Rodriguez or Seth Lugo. One of those guys, you can put him in. If Severino is your biggest option or your biggest spending option, that is a problem. I will not be happy with that. But if you guys want to chime in on the Severino contract, especially because I know you both watched him.
So I'm being, of course, respectful in this. I do think that you kind of need to separate yourself from this idea that Severino will probably be the 4th or 5th starter. Personally, me. Now, of course, I could be wrong. I just see it because of the upside and of the contract in terms of pay that Severino will be the 2nd or 3rd starter. So you got Quintana in the rotation. You got Sanga in the rotation. So I'm either thinking 2 or 3, probably 3. And then 4 and 5 you fill out with whoever the fuck, which you could either spend with
Montgomery. He's probably going to be your 3 and 4. I only say because I believe they are going to get another starter.
Okay.
Whether it's Yamamoto, whether it's Montgomery, whether it's someone in there, I think they are going to get someone. I don't know who they're going to get necessarily, but they are interested in starting pitching and defense. That's what they're targeting, right? Now I'm not breaking news and saying they're going to sign one of these guys specifically. That's not what I'm saying. I am hoping they do.
Let's just say they sign. Okay, so you listed some options in the doc. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yamamoto, that's out of the conversation because he would be a 1 or 2 or maybe even
Yeah, no, he's
that's automatic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Montgomery and Erod. Erod maybe would jump him. I don't think Montgomery would jump him because
Montgomery jumps him. I disagree completely.
No,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I agree. I think his performance with the Rangers was a lot better than people saw.
Yeah.
I think Montgomery.
But the upside with Severino, that's my. And I get it, the contract and what he did.
But Alex, you got to weigh in his upside with his injury history. If you're the Mets,
his upside
has now weighted.
I listen, not that I don't fully disagree or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think the upside which Severino has shown in his career
Mm-hmm.
is above what Montgomery's best is. And I get it. You're relying on so many years
You
ago.
want to
And
talk about his stuff? Sure. Or how maybe you look at this 5 years ago, Alex, and I agree with you, but the way Montgomery pitched in the postseason and the way he pitched after he left the Yankees, I'm just going to disagree and say Montgomery's been better.
I think he's been more consistent too.
He's been way more.
I don't disagree. He's been more consistent. I just feel like Severino has that potential firepower. Let's look at. All right, I obviously will go to the playoff stats if I can find it on here on Baseball Reference. But
are you looking for Severino or Montgomery?
I already got Montgomery, which kind of is going to my
I got
point.
Severino's.
Okay, so 4-2, 2.79 ERA, very good with Texas last year. Before that, when he was in St. Louis, 6.9. 3.42 ERA. Obviously, ERA is not there. He's finished with an ERA at 3.2, which isn't bad considering he was with the shitty ass St. Louis, right? You go pretty much throughout all of his career. 9-7, 3.88 in 2017. You go to 21, where he was 6-7 at a 3.83. You go to 22 with the Yankees. He was 3-3, 3.69. I'm still gonna sit here on my throne, and okay, I'll look at the playoffs. I know you guys were bringing that up too. In the playoffs, I'm trying to look because they're not breaking.
Severino's career postseason numbers.
Okay, postseason, I will not disagree that Montgomery is better, but we're talking objectively about the regular season.
Montgomery, I understand what you're saying in terms of who might have the more potential. But I don't think if you're David Stearns, you can't just rely on that because this guy hasn't proven to stay healthy, and he had a horrible. This is a prove it year for him. You can't just assume. You just can't give him the role.
But just the at least the mentality I have, which is my personal opinion, but I'm also trying to match it with what the Mets are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be completely transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Who has a better chance of being an ace? Or a top-level starter if you match their ceiling to ceiling.
If you want to match their ceiling, fine. I'll give you Severino. I understand that.
Right.
But
if Severino shits the bed or he is injured, Montgomery moves up automatically. You don't need to worry about that.
I'm not going to put him above Montgomery in terms of what he's been able to do. I understand your argument, but I'm simply saying Montgomery if they sign him, I think he'll clearly be ahead of him in the rotation just because of his consistency and his postseason ability. Here's the big reason why. Severino's postseason stats. Career postseason for Luis Severino. 5.15 ERA, a 1.51 whip, which is awful. 1.6 homers per 9, 4.3 walks per 9. Okay, so that's really not good at all. And there's just really, it's, again, the injuries are what's concerned me. I saw the report that Armin's talking about that there's a fallback option for Blake Snell. I think that could be a disaster in my opinion. Anyone who signs him long-term, he's just not consistent enough. And I have a feeling it smells like Carlos Rodon all over again. But nevertheless, Luca, if you want to give more of your thoughts.
After Luca, I do want to see what the chat says about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to just reiterate my question in the chat. If the Mets sign Montgomery, who is fitting above in the rotation? Are the Mets going to put Montgomery first or the Mets going to put Severino first? And again, I see Severino. These two guys say Montgomery. Luca, I'll let you go ahead, and I also want to hear what Brian has to say.
I say Montgomery at this stage of Severino's career. I think Severino can be I think at best in this point of Severino's career, he's no longer an ace, in my opinion. I think he's a 2 or a 3 at best. But with his injury history, he should be a 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. So you have that. And Montgomery has been more effective this year, obviously pitching well with the Texas Rangers in the playoffs. He was solid with the Cardinals. Obviously, they were a pretty bad team as well. Mm-hmm. But he got better once he came to Texas, and he pitched well in the playoffs. So, in my opinion, I don't know what the Mets are realistically going to do, but I think the better option is putting Montgomery ahead of Severino in the rotation. and have Severino as at least that fallback option in case anybody gets hurt. But again, Severino's reliability is very low.
I agree. I'm going to concur with everything Lucas said. I really don't have anything to add. You guys hit all the points. I'm 100% in with Montgomery.
Because you look at the rotation, if they get, let's say it's Yamamoto or Montgomery, right? Just for, I don't know who they're going to get.
Well, Yamamoto's considered their top target right now.
Right. No, yeah, that's correct, Brian. I'm hoping it's Yamamoto. I like he reminds me a lot of when Tanaka came over.
Him and Senga together would be a cheat code.
That would be so dirty. But you would have another starter. So one starter, you would have Senga, you would have Quintana, you would have Sevi, and then you would fill it out with like Lucchesi, Buto, Miguel, whatever, right? That's your depth, your fifth star. They'll battle it out for the fifth spot. I'm okay with that rotation, not enamored, but I see that it's better than last year. I see that it's way better than last year. Just because, remember, this team could not pitch with certain veterans, with Verlander and Scherzer really not doing with it. Verlander was okay, but he struggled with injury at time to start. Scherzer was awful. He clearly didn't want to be here. He had an attitude problem as well. Carlos Carrasco, a walking disaster. God bless him. I know he came off leukemia, but the cookie really crumbled into a pile of garbage because that's what Carlos Carrasco was. And he had no velocity, could not use the slider, could not use the changeup. So that's my point there. Brian, if you had anything to add.
I'm going to add something not MLB related real quick. They're already talking about it in the chat a bit.
But Trevor Lawrence.
His season's over. Guaranteed.
Really?
So?
The way he got wrapped up down, if you watch the replay, his own offensive line on his ankle rolled up. He flattened out backwards on top of it, and you saw like a reaction from his ankle. It's got to be Achilles of some kind. It's got to be something.
I have the game on in the background, and I just see the score. It's 28-all. But man,
so it's Beathard versus Browning.
Could I change my Jaguars pick then?
I think it might be Beathard.
Can I change my Jaguars pick then?
I mean,
we would all have to change our Jaguars pick then.
You want to? I feel like
do the Jaguars play again next week?
The Jaguars play the Browns.
Listen, Joe Flacco is that guy, man.
Give me, you know what? Yeah, give me. No, wait, who's home?
The Browns.
Okay, give me the Browns then. I was debating with
I'm
myself.
just gonna take a. I actually have the video if you guys want to see it. The way
not right now. I don't want to see no Achilles or.
Well, they said they didn't have a card out for him. They actually had to carry him to the locker, and they didn't.
Luca, would you like to change your pick too?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't think that's fair that we picked the game assuming that their quarterback would be. So everyone's going with the dog pound now because that's not fair. Back to the baseball conversation. Someone was speaking.
No, I think we had it.
You gave the floor to me.
I did. You're correct. Sorry.
Yeah.
Then I was going to talk about the other signing of they signed Joey Wendell, a 1-year, $2 million deal.
Not bad.
That's I kind of don't.
Guillaume's replacement.
Yeah, it's Guillaume's replacement. I kind of don't know why they would just let Guillaume walk to bring in him. Like I feel like they're very similar players. I don't really feel like Joey Wendell's anything spectacular. His offense kind of stinks. The defense is there, which fine, defensive replacement. But now that's, I mean, do you guys have anything to add? I think it's a lower level signing.
Low level signing. I mean, just Guillaume's replacement that will fill in at second base or whenever somebody
pretty much
or a
and
pinch
then,
runner.
Level, yeah.
Yeah, and then they signed a couple minor league minor bullpen guys. Again, nothing crazy. Andre Scrub, Austin Adams, another guy. And there was another guy in there that I can't remember. Who?
Sulcer.
So some other minor moves they made, but now we got to go a little into their interest. Okay. Here's what I think, we listen to David Stearns, right? We've heard him preach about pitching and run prevention. So what does that mean? Defense, and pitching, obviously. Some of the rumors out there. Brian, I mentioned the Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The Mets are pretty much all in on him. I would love that man to go with a nasty 1-2 punch with Senga. I think Yamamoto is a more precision pitcher. I think Kodai Senga is more of your guy that's going to walk a few batters, but he'll strike out 10 to 12 a game. Yamamoto can probably go more innings than Senga just because he's more efficient and he's more precise. If I'm the Mets, I offer him a contract north of $200 million. He's desperately someone you need to go after. And it's not even like, there's a debate on whether they should. No, like every Mets fan wants him. Pretty much more than half the MLB wants him because he was posted last week, correct?
Yeah, he was.
He was posted.
He's supposed to meet with teams very soon.
Yeah, he's going to start meeting teams. There won't be a decision on him this week. Probably not next week. It'll be a while until he signs with a team because he's going to do his meeting with everyone. So he's got 45 days to look at that. So that is something of note for them. But like I said, they also could use a guy like an Erod or a Seth Lugo in the middle of the rotation. Just because they need pitching, man. They need pitching. They were atrocious. Remember how many games, we were counting that they would score 6 runs or more and they'd lose. They had double-digit losses in that. That's horrible. That's atrocious out there. So they need guys that can give you innings. You've seen it kind of also with other teams. For instance, the Cardinals, they didn't go get stars, but they got guys that can kind of eat innings with Kyle Gibson because they also were awful at pitching. Their bullpen got tired. That's what happened to ours. Our bullpen, not only did they blow a lot of games, but they were dead. Their arms were dead. And I know they're going to be better with Diaz automatically back, but that's just something of note. If you're the Mets, I'll open the panel up. Are there any other pitchers that you should be interested in or that you're thinking of?
I'm thinking Rodriguez, Yamamoto, or Montgomery. Those are my main 3.
Mm-hmm. Brian or Alex?
I have to agree there. Those are the top 3.
Rodriguez, Yamamoto. Yeah, I mean, there's not many better than that 3 because, I mean, Waka had a good season in San Diego, but you guys already tried that out.
Yeah.
Seth Lugo,
I'd love him back, but I don't think
we got some options that they could have that you could maybe argue in there. Just give me 1 second. Sure. I'm using my salary site.
I'll read some of the comments. I'll go from bottom up. Crackle saying Robertson bringing back to set up a guy again. Jordan Monty would be good. I don't think the Mets are going to reunite with Robertson. It could happen. I like this one from Armin saying they should have interest in Jordan Hicks, although he's saying the Rangers, Astros, Cards, and O's are interested in the 27-year-old right-hander. Armin, Shota Imanaga, another guy from Japan. Like him, he's also thrown out the name Yaro Rodriguez. Yes, we know Crackle Nuts. That bullpen blew a lot of games last year. They were horrible. Let's see what Senga next year, because most pitchers dominate first year because no one knows about. Yeah, no, that's fair point. The sophomore slumps do happen, but I thought he was one of the best pitchers in the second half last year. He flourished very well. Armin saying, I believe the Mets will add a bullpen arm while at the winter meetings. That's my next point, bullpen. Luca, I think, brought it up once about their percentage on the bullpen spending and how it was dreadful. So they need – what happened?
No, I was saying, they spent you're not supposed to – I'm not sure, the better teams really spend a lot on their bullpen, but they spend probably little assets. As I mentioned, you guys had, Jeff Brigham, all these different guys, all these little –
Brigham, Dominic the Donkey, our favorite on the show. We all know the song. You had so many just bums, hacks, hosers on this team that could not pitch to the big league level. And they need a guy, whether it's Jordan Hicks, whether it's Aroldis Chapman, whether it's Brent Suter, whether it's bringing back David Robertson, whoever it may be. You need to go get bullpen arms. Wandy Peralta, Cracklenut says, I would love that. I know the Yankees have been reportedly trying to bring him back. The Mets somehow stole him. I love that. But I wouldn't bank on it. But they desperately need some bullpen arms in this organization badly. Armin saying, I believe the Mets land Yamamoto. They go after 1 to 2 year type of starting pitcher to fill out the rotation. That's true. I don't think they're going to go heavy on the on like top heavy free agents unless it's a starter, because I don't think they're going after anyone, crazy offensively in terms of like a Soto or a Bellinger or an Ohtani. That's not happening. I'm being very realistic here. And then, you look at some of the other rumors. They have had some interest in getting some outfield help, because you look at this current outfield construction. Brandon Nimmo's your center fielder, and there's a lot of question marks after him. Nimmo's probably a top 10 center fielder at least. Argue pushing top 5, maybe not there, but he's definitely top 10. And then, they brought back DJ Stewart, who provided some power, but I don't know how much you're going to rely on that. He seems more like a platoon bench option at best. Starling Marte is not a guy you can trust because of his injuries. Now, when he's healthy, he's fantastic. But the issue is that man has had multiple surgeries. He's had, injuries galore. You cannot trust him. And so the question begins, where do you go in the outfield spot? If Marte is healthy, maybe you get Marte, Nimmo, and another outfielder in there. Maybe you move Jeff McNeil to the outfield to open up these infield prospects.
Mauricio,
give him some more time. Give Beatty some more time. So we'll see how that all works out. Some guys they've had interest in, 2 guys, Jung-Ho Lee, Michael A. Taylor. Michael A. Taylor is a 4th outfield option at best. He brings defense and speed. He actually hit over 20 homers, which shocked me last year, but he's not the guy I really want.
it's not sustainable.
No, I'd like a Jung-Ho Lee, because then you can move Brandon Nimmo to a corner outfield spot. Brian, I see your hand. Professor will get to you. But Jung-Ho Lee, good left-handed bat, really is a guy that's not going to strike out, and he's going to get on base. Probably will be really good at that, whatever team lands him. But again, this team does need another outfielder. I would like someone to be more offensive. I've listed names in the past, but Brian, I see your hand up.
The number one team to mention in that is the number one front runner for Jung-Ho Lee. I'm sure we all know who that is.
The Yankees.
Yes. That has been the speculated number one target for the Yankees. Actually, one of their top targets is getting Jung-Ho Lee, if they can get him in.
That would be, I think that would be a very good.
That's been a big conversation topic.
I think that would happen if they don't get Soto, my opinion.
Mm-hmm. No,
I think they're looking at it as a 1B.
As a 1B? I honestly, look, I wouldn't be against it, but I just think
we'll just look around, Brian.
I would prefer to keep the prospects and get Lee over Soto, which is now going to start a whole fight among you guys. So go ahead.
But no, I mean, obviously, I disagree there. But the thing is, too, you bring in Jung-Ho Lee, right? You bring in Soto. That's left in center field. Where are you putting Dominguez? Exactly. So that's why I consider it's a 1B. But John,
and then the crazy option, right? And I don't think this is going to happen, just because another game, guys. There's some other outfielder options. Kevin Kiermaier, if they really wanted to.
Would you go as far to mention as Randy Arozarena?
That's who I was getting to. I love Randy Arozarena. I think he's a great outfield option. Brian, you look like you're about to explode.
The Jaguars put in a backup quarterback, and he just got hurt. They have no other quarterbacks on the roster.
No, Beathard's still in. He was
He
hurt.
said he injured his wrist.
No, he's still in.
Oh my gosh, they really do not. They're in trouble when they're keeping an injured guy in.
I mean, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What you were saying about the Arozarena?
I would love Randy Arozarena. Brings a very clutch playoff bat. Can run well, plays solid defense. Like, he's a perfect left field option. And Crackle Nuts, I completely disagree with you. They do have prospects. This team is loaded with position prospects. The pitching prospects is another thing they don't really have. We know about that, Alex. But you know what? That's something they can acquire in the future if this season doesn't go well. And so they have a few guys in their system that might be something. Mike Vassal's a guy that's been looked at as someone with a little bit of promise. He might be a 3 or 4 starter, and you need those guys. You need those guys to pan out in your organization. He's our best pitching prospect, but then you also got Calvin Ziegler and Blade Tidwell. These guys aren't really ready, though. A guy that was talked about. I'm trying to remember where he is on the rankings because I have the list on Fangraphs actually, not just MLB.com. Stuart Scott, I believe his name is, or what was his name? I'm blanking on a name right now, and I'm annoyed. Let me go to MLB.com because
Which player are you thinking of? Is it a Mets prospect? Or
yeah, he's a Mets prospect.
Rodriguez? No, not Rodriguez.
No, it's a pitching prospect.
Okay.
Give me a sec. I got the name. I'm blanking on him. I should know this too, which is Christian Scott. Christian Scott. Double-A pitcher. I think he's someone to watch out in the future. He was like a 5th rounder in 2021, but he pitched really good last year in Double-A in 12 games started. So that's someone to keep an eye on. Maybe he shoots up the board, and maybe that's someone in the system for them. But they do have plenty of prospects that they can use if they wanted to go make a deal for someone. I don't think that's going to be now. I don't think they're going to do that. But then again, that could all change. They could strike out in free agency and maybe want to go get someone. But I'll read some of the comments. Luca, if you want to bring them up, or Alex.
Sure. Jacob says,
imagine they trade. I mean, that's not happening. Come on. John.
Not saying
it will happen, but I think fit. No, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's holding on. They're not trading in this offseason. I disagree.
Next offseason, possibly not this one.
Well, they can't. He's a free agent.
Well, yeah.
Armin, yeah, I said this. Stern's preference is free agency this offseason, so I doubt they trade for Randy. I doubt it too. Would love him though. Kraken's saying Alex Verdugo. Would you like him?
It's not.
I feel
bad.
like
go after a Rosarena. Maybe he's a 1B, a 2.
Yeah, option. Another free agent option they could if they want to go the offensive route. Teoscar Hernandez. Not the biggest fan on him, but that's just somebody if they really are desperate. And that's pretty much it for what I have for the Mets. Unless you guys have more questions, or if you guys want to throw something.
I think that pretty much does it, right?
Yeah.
I know you wanted to talk about the pitching options, the best ones out there. So
go ahead.
I got some of them already. I mean, most of the big ones are pretty much gone at this point. So like Nola, Sonny Gray, those main two are gone.
I don't want Sonny Gray. He can't pitch in New York.
One of the big ones left that you won't get back because he won't come back is Stroman, which before his injury he was looking like a Cy Young candidate.
Wouldn't touch him because number one, he's got a mouth on him, and number two, he only pitches well in contract years.
John,
got Kershaw.
No, Alex, you know what I damn well meant.
Yes.
You got Kershaw, you got Ryu, you got Martin Perez.
I wouldn't touch Kershaw.
I think Urias would fit so well with the Mets.
Well. He sounds like a Yankee. I mean, Domingo Germán was there, so the replacement.
John, do you want to get ejected?
What would you think of Hyun-Jin Ryu, John? He's a back end guy. I remember
he's a back end guy for a veteran on a 1-year cheap deal.
I actually really like Ryu. Really liked him with the Dodgers, and even with the beginning of his career with the Blue Jays. But injuries have hit him so hard.
Yeah, that's the only thing. He's just so injured so often. So,
John said. Jacob says if y'all miss on Yamamoto, Belly could make sense.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger. I don't think the Mets are going after.
No, I don't think that's.
You could go after Sean Manaea.
Sean Manaea.
No.
Manaea. I'm sorry. I'm thinking like a Polynesian pronunciations. My fault.
No, they're not getting him.
No.
All right. There's also Clevenger.
No,
Nah, Clevenger sucks.
he's
What
a
about
locker room
Woodruff?
cancer.
What about Woodruff?
Doesn't he got surgery?
Yeah, he's going to be
gonna have
out.
surgery, so it's not going to help him this year.
Would you take a flyer on Giolito as a 5?
Mm,
Yes, he's
Okay.
got upside. As a
And he's
5,
20,
I would.
and he'll be still 29 when he starts next year. So,
Yeah, I would as a 1 year rental. Sure. Take a
let's see
chance.
who else. You got Snell, which you already pretty much spoke on.
No,
Kluber, Paxton, Greinke. Greinke is going to go back to Kansas City for one more year.
He should retire, honestly. He's
He
not
should.
as good as he once
You
was.
want to talk about retire? How about Rich Hill?
Dick Mountain.
Dick Mountain.
Yeah. 44 next year, and he's still currently a free agent. You already talked about Cueto. You got Lorenzen as an option.
He's not a bad 1 year guy rental.
You talked about Lugo. You want Montes?
No.
Why not?
No.
He looks so good in Oakland.
Yeah, he looks so good for you guys too. John, how about Glasnow or Sneeze?
They'd have to trade for Glass now. I
Sneeze.
don't think they would do that.
Sneeze.
Alex,
No,
Alex, you heard that sneeze.
I accidentally mixed it up.
that's true.
No one Tyler Glasnow has had some elbow problems. Yes on Dylan Cease. Yes.
What about Flaherty?
No? He's got so many control issues. No.
Okay. How about the guy from the Pirates, Velasquez?
No.
Okay. You also got here Domingo Armand, Turnbull, Tehran.
Nope.
Look at some of the bigger names here. Caprellian.
No.
Nah.
James.
You want Keuchel?
No, he's
No, he's 10 years past his prime.
Okay. There's also Jose Urania.
no. God no.
I mean, this is where we're at. Oh, you know who's a good fit for you? Chichi Gonzalez.
There you go. $10 million.
You're just throwing out names at this point.
Hold on a
Yeah,
second.
exactly. Maybe you need Mad Bum. Maybe Mad Bum will fix things.
Did Brian did bring up Giolito at all?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did.
yeah. I
How
said
about
yes.
Giolito?
I said yes. I would take.
A 1 year deal?
As a 5. As a 5, though.
Yeah. Back end rotation. Sure.
Let's see where other guys are. I mean, you already talked about you. I know you overheard somebody say something about Chance Adams. Or somebody say something. Aaron Brooks from San Diego.
I think we're getting into depth starters now.
Yeah, this is just depth.
Yeah. Who's the other guy? We talked about Shota, right?
Him, I would want.
Shota Imanaga.
Yes.
Him, I'd want.
I do agree with Armand here. He thinks that Giolito's going to get more than 1 year. I think somebody will go for a 2-year deal on him. Oh, wait. We forgot about big name also. How did I forget about this? Trevor Bauer is still an option for anybody.
He was vindicated.
Call me crazy. I would take him.
He was vindicated from the league, but let me tell you, I mean, I would say blackball from the league, but let me
No,
tell
I mean,
you,
he was found
still
innocent.
can pitch now. You guys saw. We made fun of him for the way he started in Japan, but he had a really good year. The
No,
guy
he
could
did.
still be a 2 or 3 for somebody.
Yeah. Imanaga Jacob is a mid rotation guy, which he pitched fine. Like he's a fine pitcher.
Can't we
Coming
forget about
over.
Trevor Bauer?
Yeah, I would take Trevor Bauer. I would.
I'd say the same thing for the Yankees. I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, me too.
We took in one guy who was accused of bad things in Roger Clemens, and look how that turned out.
I mean, we freaking Domingo Herman. Come on now.
Yeah. You also had to roll this Chapman, too. Don't forget that, too.
And Jimmy Cordero.
Oh, yeah, Cordero.
Ah.
Yeah, Cordero.
Jimmy Cordero.
Yeah, so that's really it for pitching. That's just for starting, of course, of significant names. Jacob says, how about Jesus Luzardo or Jesse Chavez? Oh, wait, according to you, they're the same player.
No,
you're
he thought Chavez and Urias were the same player.
Yeah, that's what I got wrong because I got confused by the glasses. All-time moment, by the way. Luzardo,
It's going to be on the end of the year, I'll tell you that much. But any more notes, John?
I do not have anything new. No, unless we have new news. Probably be like I don't know, a couple days from now.
I got nothing. I also don't think Shohei's getting done this week. It's getting done this week for Shohei.
No.
Yes, this. Who signed? Who? What happens first? Juan Soto gets traded.
We have a Mets update. That guy they've been talking about, Eric Fed. The
Today.
decision's coming down to the White Sox and Mets.
Please be the White Sox.
It's expected to be in the 2-year, $10 million range. Could be finalized by Tuesday, so tomorrow.
What?
Yo, if you spent $10 million on Eric Fenn,
What? No. Come on. I just dealt with football. I
That's the
swear.
day.
Oh my God. He.
Next Mets starter. Fuck Yamamoto, everybody.
Eric,
No.
the future of the franchise,
Jordan
Eric Fenn.
Montgomery.
Please be the White Sox.
who's Jordan Mont? Who's you know what? Brian, I got it. Let me just double check this real quick.
Go for it.
No.
You know who the Mets are really going to get?
Who?
They're going to get Jordan Yamamoto instead of Yoshi Yamamoto.
No.
They're going to get the wrong Yamamoto.
Why would they
Oh,
want
God.
Eric Fed? He is Garbo.
Armand just said, "Stop taking my news, Brian. That's my job." Dude, I'm on Twitter 24/7. So at this point, I'm going to report whatever I see.
Why would they? No, please go to the White Sox. God, why even him?
Heyman said that Mets are. Heyman just confirmed it too.
What do you say?
He said Mets are among the teams in the mix for him, who was the top pitcher in the KBO last year.
How good was he in the KBO?
They say he was a top guy.
Did he like fix his
Let me
stuff?
look it up.
Actually, yeah. Let's see.
Because he was horrible in the majors with the Nats.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
He had
he
a-
was
he was
20
20
and
and-
6
Yeah.
with a 2
Whoa.
ERA.
Whoa, wait, what?
Wait, did you see the KM walks? 209 strikeouts to 35 walks across 180 innings.
So, dude must have taken some drugs or something.
Dude won the Koreans version of the Cy Young Award.
John's going to do a 180 now. He's like, okay, backtrack my statement.
All right. Well, I
Me
didn't
and
know he was good
Jacobson.
there. He be fair. Come on. With Washington, he was awful.
Oh, I agree.
He was awful, man.
Something that Jacob said, he mentioned about Toronto. He said, any idea what Toronto's offering Ohtani? Is it 550 plus? Yeah, there was a video done today by, I think, Talking Baseball. They were interviewing Bob Nightingale at the winter meetings in Nashville, and he said he expected him to go to the Dodgers. But again, that's a prediction. It's not really what's going to happen. And he said the contract expectation is somewhere in the 550 to 600 million range. And at minimum, it's going to be 8 years.
Right. But
So.
I guess we could start wrapping up on here. 3 hours, 12 minutes. I'll start with
Bucks talk?
Brian.
Do you want to?
I
You
have
guys
work.
want to try? We got a game tomorrow, so.
I do have work in the morning, so if y'all want to, you can.
Luca?
I mean, I also got unfortunately this time around, I'll get maybe we could talk after the show, but I gotta get up early in the morning because we got the painter coming over. Now, Brian,
Okay,
let me
problem.
ask this. Are you doing anything tomorrow? Just asking.
No. The
Why
plan
not?
is the usual. Morning, going to do a morning show. By the way, I know I haven't done a morning show in like 2 weeks. I'm doing with some medical stuff. I'm just, coming back this week. I'm starting it tomorrow. And also, I reprogrammed the show around. From now on, this is the announcement being made here for the first time. The Brian Mansell show is now going to be a football-only show.
Okay.
So the topics will only be football, and every episode we're going to be doing a daily scout breakdown of each player in college football that had been talked about heavy for the draft. We'll be doing that every single episode every day.
Okay.
To always close out the show. So going over tape, whatever footage the guy has, and we're just going to break it down. So that's what we're going to be doing. It's a football only show now on there. It was a decision I made. It's something that I've been around the longest time, something I have the most knowledge about. So I'm just going to be embracing that full speed. Oh, Armand says it should be baseball and football for now. Honestly, listen, I know it's baseball, but I mean, everybody here in this group knows with baseball, I'm limited on some of the things I can say. So for that reason, I really just leaning off of it. I'm sticking more to really just football. So I think that's what we're going to stick with. I'm going to be doing just a lot of highlight breakdowns, talks, just really jump full into that and just give as much information as I can. Probably get some NFL guests on, as many as I can. See what as many people I can reach out to, see what I can pull off. And try to have some fun with that. But show update.
Now, let me ask this. I'll ask you this live, Brian. Are you down to come on tomorrow for our in-season tournament stream?
For the Bucks game?
Yes.
What time? I forget. The game tip-off is 7, right?
I'll check with
Or is it 7:30?
7:30. It's going to be on. It's interesting because do you have MSG over there?
Yeah, dude, it's still the New York, New Jersey area. I'm gonna have MSG.
Just making sure. Maybe we can do
If worst comes to worst, I've got some illegal streaming sites I could follow.
You also got TNT. It's going to be on MSG and TNT. So at the end of the day,
that means it might be blacked out on TNT, wouldn't it? Or blacked out in general?
I don't know. Not on TNT. It would be blacked out on NBA TV if it was on there, but it's not.
Oh yeah. Okay. Couple questions I just got asked. Jacob just asked me, do I think Tampa's going to be in the draft like Jaden Daniels? I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I'm the first person saying this. I think Jaden Daniels, one, is winning the Heisman.
Okay.
And two, I think he might be one of the best, if not the best, in the class. The more I watch and hear the things with Caleb Williams, the more I start to not like him. I'm going to leave it at that. I've watched a lot of things. I've got a lot of issues with him. But in terms of Tampa going quarterback, if we went with Daniels, sure, if he's available at that point. You guys will see by the time we hit the combine and around draft time, Jaden Daniels is going to be considered a top 10 quarterback pick immediately. He's this year's A-Rich. Yeah, almost 4,000 yards passing, over 1,000 on the ground, leading rusher for LSU this year. Dude's a beast. Also, I'll be the only one to say is Drake Mason x Zach Wilson. Heard it here first. Let's leave it at that.
I think I've heard that one, but
I don't trust him.
Will you be joining the crew for the stream tomorrow?
Yeah, you guys start at 7?
Well, 7:30. It tips off at 7:40. Maybe we do the game preview that we were supposed to do on here on there.
Okay.
Set it up.
All right. Luca, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Got the in-season tournament tomorrow. Knicks Bucks. Obviously, I just mentioned to Brian. It's going to be the three of us. Baseball, good talk. Finally diving into some baseball off-season. Football, obviously, we made our picks. And, yeah.
All right, John?
I'm glad baseball's back. Fuck the Jets.
Well, we appreciate you guys. By the way, I did see Mark D's comment. I think he's a Padres fan, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw him on my Juan Soto video. Padres would trade Soto for Dominguez, Jones, King. I think that's a little too much, personally.
I was going to say that's too much. Nope.
You know, I did see the Dominguez and like maybe, and then I saw the Jones and the Volpe part. I'm like, I don't know about that. But
Armand just added something to last second.
Yeah, the Mets have been very active in the starters market over the last 48 hours.
Yep.
Today with Yamamoto, others, and Montgomery. But we appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow for the next stream. Also, the Big Blue in the Bronx podcast at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. More Yankee content and more baseball content coming along the way, and some Giants we'll mix in as well. So appreciate you guys. Talk to you later.